LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I
filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Class dismissed.
This class again?
Don't sit in courses you've already taken. University of Phoenix accepts eligible transfer credits and has a scholarship for transfer students. Finish your degree faster.
Hey, it's Jacob Wheeler, and you are listening to Jigs and Bigs.
Bobby Roast Beef here, Jigs and friggin' Bigs. Listen, guys, this week we're talking about what happens when the water wakes up a bit from its winter slumber in those northern lakes and ponds. And we got to know, are Joe and Jacob Wheeler now BFFs? I have some information about that, and it's going to be good. We got Ryan Parker from Dark Horse Tackle in the beef seat this week. And what the hell did I order this week that required me to set an alarm on my phone for the drop? You're going to find out right after we get to it, guys. We'll be right back. Go get something delicious to enjoy. We'll be right back right after this. You ever just have one of those days? Yeah, man, today was one of those days, Joe. How are you, bud?
It was? Dude, I'm awesome.
That's good.
It was not one of those days. I actually had a pretty good day because it's Friday. It's like, well, it's my, you really you don't have a fucking Friday because you're a madman.
I'm just always working. Yeah. There's always, everything is nonstop. Although
it's my Friday.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that.
We'll give a round of applause for a Friday.
Yeah. A pretty chill weekend coming up. Just working on AVF tackle experts. We're close, man. We're close to launching that site.
That's awesome, dude. That's really awesome.
You saw some stuff that came in, and
I did.
I put some stuff aside for Mr. Bobby Roast Beef.
That's good, man. That's
exclusives.
We got a lot of shit happening on the show, guys.
We got so much shit happening.
We do. Like, I'm talking about so for even the jig heads probably aren't even aware of this, but usually we're talking for like the first 10 minutes or so before we even go live for the live stream for the jig heads. And I brought some information for the headlines that you guys are going to want to know, but I couldn't even write it into the intro because it's that fresh, man. It's so good. It's crazy. And it smells a lot like a situation that we heard about not that long ago. And it sucks. Rubber checks. We'll just leave it at that. Rubber checks. But I will say we do have a lot of stuff going on. A little bit of housekeeping to get to, guys. Just want to let you guys know that Jigs and Bigs is a weekly fishing podcast. We're focused on entertainment. We want to entertain you guys, but we're all about that fishing community. We want you to know we come out every single week with a brand new episode on your preferred podcast platform, even on YouTube. You can go check out the show on YouTube there as well. Don't forget, though, if you're checking out the show, that rating and reviews, they help us a ton. They really do. So whatever your podcast platform of choice is, if you have the opportunity, give us a rating and review. Apple Podcast goes a long way. Spotify does as well. In fact, this week I got some info from Eli that Apple Podcast doesn't drop the ball, but Spotify had the whole episode. So I got to go and double check and see if they fixed that because it was out of my hands. There was nothing I could do. But on top of that, what you can know is Jigs and Bigs is all over social media. Whether it's Jigs and Bigs, AVF Fishing Tackle Experts, or American Vet Fishing, you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. We've got YouTube channels as well. Check it all out, guys. There's good stuff for everybody there. And if you want to engage with the show, you'll hear some of this later on in the show, especially in our live well, you can do so by calling us on our hotline. It's 413 324-8519. You can call or text us at that number. Go ahead, put that number in your phone right now. Save it. Go ahead and call or text us with information for FTGs, live well questions. Just want to give a shout out, anything like that. Questions about the tournament series, all that stuff. 413-324-8519. Now, with all that stuff done, Joe, it's here we are. It is. Oh God, I just dawned on me, dude. Today's Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's why, dude. That's why things are. I just set my 11-year-old to fill up my whiskey glass. By the way.
Oh, see, that is parenting done right. That's how it should be. That is 100% how it should be. I got to tell you, yeah, it just dawned on me. Like Joe and I were having conversations about car near misses and car accidents and stuff. That now it's all making sense. It's Friday the fucking 13th.
I didn't even think of that, dude. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I was showing Bobby, my best friend on the planet, Mike. Not a fisherman, but it's who I went in the military in the buddy system in. He retires, right after me. Yeah, some asshole fucking crossed a double yellow on a back road and freaking smacked him today. And he's all banged up. These guys showed Bobby the picture. I was like, when I saw it, dude, I almost hopped in my truck and head down to the hospital. But he's like, no, I'm good. I'm just a little sore.
Oh yeah, dude, that's rough. I almost got T-boned in a parking lot today. Freaking douche nozzle going way too fast in a parking lot would have hit my daughter's side, and I would have been in jail. I'm just saying. He's lucky. He's lucky. He didn't hit me.
It's crazy, dude. Because it's like I had this conversation with my other buddy at work when we were talking about Mike, and it's like it doesn't matter how good, defensive, aggressive, or just alert of a driver you are. You're putting your life in everyone else's hands to hope that they are not driving like an absolute thanks, pal. Like they're not driving like an absolute dirtbag and fucking looking at their phones and
it's crazy.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. You're just like, Jesus, take the wheel, man. Jesus, take the wheel.
You're not wrong, dude. Holy shit.
It's fucking crazy. I've thought about it in that way in an aspect, but it's like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm glad, you drive an SUV, you have a bit more skin in the game. Like you'll probably be, hopefully knock on wood that nothing ever happens, but you drive a pretty good size SUV. I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty good in my truck.
Oh yeah, man.
But dude, you never know, man. You never know. Yeah. Dude, my dad was almost killed when I was like the twins' age because someone fucking came over the center line when we lived in Florida and hit him straight on, dude. He had his partner, his work partner, that he literally went through the windshield.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was good. He lived. My dad took the dude his sternum bone, cracked it right in half. Dude. I believe he could have reached in and fucking grabbed his heart.
Oh,
it was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, dude.
Crazy. While we're on the subject of crazy drivers, I look at my phone right here, and that's when I saw the date. I was like, we're in the throes of winter. We're only a handful of weeks, I think, before we're actually going to be able to easily find some open water. Yeah. At the very least, I'm going to have the boat out on the Cape. We're getting there now. This was actually a pretty fishy week. A lot of fishy adjacent shit kind of went down, and while we're talking about cars and stuff, one of the things that went down was you and I went down to Thayer's Marine for their little talk and tackle event where they had a handful of vendors there, some really good vendors. Probably bought a few things while I was down there. We'll get through all the details there. And they had what Jake Lawrence and who's that other guy they had there? Was it?
What's his name?
It was Jacob Wheeler that they had.
Jacob Wheeler, that's his name. That's right.
Dude, I don't think I mentioned this to you, but both. I definitely didn't mention to you with this what I saw on the ride back. I thought the ride back was going to be better. We got somewhere between 1 inch and 3 inches of snow all around New England, depending on where you were. Yeah. And I will tell you, dudes, I have worked in the news industry for 20 years of my life, running stations in Massachusetts and Connecticut. I'm not saying shit about mass drivers, but I am just saying okay, that Connecticut drivers take shit to the next level, because I saw several vehicles in and around snowbanks and guardrails that looked like Godzilla picked the vehicle up and placed it in an awkward position. Like, it was comical, the amount of vehicles I saw like this. And even I was like, oh, the ride back will be even better. It won't be too bad. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yo, it was just, yeah.
It was just as bad.
It was weird too, though, dude, because like, you texted me, and there was a point where, we got like 4 inches here at my house.
Yeah.
And there was a point, where I'm like, fuck, should I not go? And I was like, no.
I was a
like,
bad
Meg's
influence, because
like,
I was
Meg,
like, already
Meg and
on the
Emma came
way.
with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, she's like, what do you, I was like, no, fuck it, let's do it. Cause like I
Wheeler.
obviously want to have a conversation with Wheeler. And, so we braved it, dude. And like, we used the GPS, and I took back roads that entire way because because there are so many accidents on the highway that I was like, yo, dog, you need to take we're just going to have you take the back roads.
Yeah.
It was that
bad.
weird amount of snow, dude, where they didn't really treat it much. They're like, ooh, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And so like the Connecticut roads were fucking hot garbage.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was
sketch.
It was nuts. It took us, it took me 2 hours to get there, or what should be an hour and 15-minute ride.
Easy. It was unbelievable, man. It was crazy. It was a good time though. Once we were there, we'll recap all that stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of fishy shit go on this week. Joe, what about your week specifically? Actually, you know what? If your week was only the fishy shit, or if your only fishy shit this week was the Thayer's event, why don't we start with you, and we'll start there.
You want to start at the Thayer's event?
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll start there, because it was sequentially. That was the next thing.
Yeah, so I'll pick up where I left off. So we were kind of like, are we gonna do that? Like, and obviously we made the ride. Emma and Meg met up with the infamous Bobby Roast Beef, who was on the road much earlier than us. And dude, it was a cool event. It was a cool event. It's obviously more for people that are kind of going there to look at boats, obviously. There's like you said, there's a few vendors there, good vendors. Heat Your Meat was there.
Yep, Mark Serrano was there. I picked up
Martin's was there,
and Mark gave me another one of those ultimate bundles of Heat Your Meat products. So we're gonna do I think we're gonna do an Instagram giveaway, something like that.
Good.
It'll be
grab some shit from him, because Jeremiah, like, he's the spicy connoisseur in the house. He loves their shit, dude.
I will tell you. I bought 4 of the little jars of their hot and heavy SPG, the hot and heavy garlic. Yeah. It is out of this world. It's not overly spicy, but I use that on everything in place of salt and pepper everywhere. And it's fantastic.
Jeremiah loves putting it on his French fries.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a French fry snob. He loves putting them on his fries. But yeah, so dude, we went there. We had a good time. We got to Bobby and I got to stand in line to talk to I'll let you I'll talk about it too. I guess you can hop in, Bobby. So we waited in line to talk to Mr. Wheeler, Jacob Wheeler, because we obviously both had, I wanted to talk to, I bitched out talking to him, what was it, last year at the was Columbus Expo.
Yep.
Yeah, because I had some questions about the boat. Because, obviously Jacob Wheeler helped design my boat. So I had some questions for him, and he made me feel a lot better to know that he's getting the same speed and like the same speed that as he had.
And he had some good tips too.
Huh?
He had some really good tips too, like regarding like prop and the difference with the two outboards.
Yep. Cool. He did confirm my suspicion that it's very weight sensitive. I kind of brought that up to him, which was great. But yeah, dude, we had a conversation. It was just like shooting the shit with one of the dudes for like, we were talking to him for what, like 10 minutes?
Maybe even 10, more 15 than that.
minutes.
Oh, it was awesome. And he was super easy to talk to, like just a wealth of information, very cool guy. And he recorded, first thing I said, I was like, listen, man, I don't want to be that guy, but I gotta be that guy. Could you say this for the camera so that we can get this clip? And he was like, absolutely, man. So that's cool. We're going to have Jacob Wheeler kicking off the show every week.
Yep. And the other cool thing is, you asked them about that new tournament coming up at the end of the year.
Yep. World Bass
MLF.
Enterprise.
And that was a real great question because it was awesome to see his perspective. Like we have, obviously we're going to have a certain perspective as like people that have zero skin in the game. But I was curious to see his, and he's like, he's excited for it. And, he's like, I've already been he's like, I don't want to jinx it that I'm not going to make it and I'm not going to qualify. But he's like, yeah, I'm already doing the research. Like, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Stoked.
So
and
it was cool to see, like, because I didn't know if it was going to be like a faddish type thing and the pros were going to be like, but no,
like it was going to be
he was
cringe.
all for it, man.
I especially like that he was stoked on the fact that it's at Hickory because he's like, it's a challenging body of water. It's not what it used to be necessarily, so you're going to have to grind, and that is fucking cool as hell. One thing that was really cool was I had shared some content, and one of my buddies, vegan Subaru driving Jared, hits me up. And Joe, I'm curious if you have this situation, like friends that are in your life, friends and family and stuff that have no idea about what we do, fishing, anything like that. They see us holding fish, and they're just like, "You're amazing."
You're amazing at this.
That kind of shit. He sends me the fucking the stuff from World Bass. He was like,
bro, you got to get involved with this, man. $3 million. You would kill it.
And I'm like, dude, I can't. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, I would have to place in the top 25 in the biggest trails that there are. Like, I can't. I'm like, there's no way.
You have to go through three series of qualification just to get into the qualification.
Just to qualify. And I was like, I go, that is a full-time non-paying job to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'd have to perform. I'm like, there's no way. So I'm like,
you should have told him. You should have been like, that's like me being able to walk onto the Patriots with the assumption that I'm going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes, speaking of the Super Bowl,
you have the same chance of doing that.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I was like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. Yeah. So yeah, that was brutal. I did pick up a brand new jig that Martin's Custom dropped at that show. It is a new like a football finesse jig, and it is just juicy. So I picked one of those up. They have a couple of new like terminal products. Like they've got some ball head jigs that look great that are gonna work and play real nice with a little bit of a content project that I'm putting together. So yeah, it was pretty good. Saturday was great though, man. It was a whole lot of fun.
It was. I did have a little bit more that happened after that. Before you get into yours, Bobby, right. This is good.
Okay.
So while Bobby and I are waiting in line, Bobby and I are conversating. So we waited for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe. So we're conversating, and I'm looking over, and I see Emma and Meg just scheming.
They were planning.
They kept looking over at us, and they're just scheming.
She was also doing a little production too. She released quite the TikTok. Your wife.
Oh my!
That was amazing, man. I haven't laughed so hard in my life.
Dude, she's good at that. She's got me a few times on her TikTok, dude. She's got me a few times. Well, there was one dude where she was like kind of on the back deck of the boat, and she said something. It was like, "Oh, just sitting here while my husband, tries to audition for like Deadliest Catch, like Redneck Edition or whatever."
She's fucking hilarious, man.
Oh, but yeah, that was a good one. But so dude, they ended up deciding that they wanted to go to the Sugar Factory for lunch. The Sugar Factory just so happens to be in the casino. So Emma, at 7 years old, got her first casino experience.
Hell yeah.
Which is okay. It's acceptable now because they put a fucking Great Wolf Lodge in there.
That's exactly it.
So, dude, it's weird. You go to the casino now down to Foxwood. It's weird. You're like all fucked up, getting ready to go hit the tables. You got kids running around, but
it's a different world.
It's different, dude. But yeah, so we brought her to the Sugar Factory, dude. And, I had a couple cocktails. Meg had a couple cocktails, and they had this crazy drink, dude.
Yep.
This crazy drink that they come out and pour, and like it smokes, and like there's this big like thing that Emma wanted, dude. She's like, I was like, you know what? It's an experience. I think it was like $50 fucking dollars, bro.
Was it?
It was like $50 fucking dollars.
Holy shit.
I was like, okay. I was like, we all know Joe's financially super retarded and irresponsible. Obviously, I'm going to buy the $50 fucking drink for my 7-year-old.
Obviously.
I do that. They do. She does it. She takes 2 sips of it, dude.
She didn't like it.
She takes 2. Dude, the thing is the size of a fucking fish bowl. It's huge. It's like half a gallon. She takes like 2 fucking sips of it. And that was that. And then we got a it was a chicken parm for 2.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
We split. Megan and I have had this there. Dude, it is like, it could feed a family of 6.
Yeah.
It's fucking, and it's also a big thing. They come in. So we all split that. And then we like went down to the mall portion. Like Emma's like loves just like seeing like artistic sights and like the lights. So we took her walking around. She absolutely fucking loved it.
That's awesome.
She saw Labubu somewhere in the crane machine fucking thing. So I blew a bunch of money on that and didn't get a goddamn thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. Chicken fucking parm, dude. One of my faves, man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so it was dude, we had a blast, dude. So we did that, came home. Yeah, that was about as fucking fishy as my week got. And then, the rest of the week was just working on AVF, trying to get that rolling, dude. There's so much shit like rolling in now.
That's awesome.
It's just trying to get everything. Once you get everything on the website, you're good. But that's like, that could be kind of tedious.
Although it's probably better now to put the effort in, because then your inventory will be spot on.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's I got a bunch of reels coming from Japan and on the US side.
It's gonna be the title of the show: Chicken Fucking Parm.
Chicken Fucking Parm, dude. Oh, I love it.
Chicken Fucking Parm with Ryan Parker.
But yeah, dude, that was it. That like after Thayer's, it was it was just like kind of like the work. Oh, actually, the fucking twins come back from their dads on Monday.
Yep.
Right. He sends them back to us. They both have that fucking neurovirus.
No.
Yeah, dude. They were like, the movie where you're like, oh, you sunk my battle shit. Like they're in the like bathroom stall. Like they were doing that puking, bro.
Oh my God, dude. That's awful.
It was a fucking nightmare.
It
was terrible. Fucking terrible. And like this whole week, Meg and I have been like walking on eggshells. We're like, ooh, we hope we don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And knock on wood, we've been okay so far. But yeah.
I had Tuesday night, I had a guy at trivia that was at my game, sounded fine. He usually plays Tuesday and again on Wednesday. Then I saw him on Wednesday, and he was talking to me. He's like, hey, man, how you doing? And I was like, oh, motherfucker, you get me fucking sick. Knock on wood, I'm okay so far. But oh my God, it's just fucking terrible. I haven't gotten anything crazy this year so far. And knock on wood, I'm going to be all right. But Jesus Christ, dude, man. Yeah, that's brutal. AVF, though, I'm telling you, once the site is up, like people are going to shit their pants.
Yeah,
they are.
Dude, it's like, I think I should be able to do like a soft launch within the next week or two.
Mark says he shook your hand at the expo and survived patient 0. Oh man,
I was fucked up at the expo.
You were in a way. It was rough.
I was trying to just like fist bump some people and just like, but there is sometimes they're just like, what's up? I'm like,
Oh, that's
all
brutal.
right, man, it's your funeral, not mine.
Yeah. Hey, give me a hug. Oh, Jesus, you don't want to deal with. Okay, fine. Bring it in.
Well, I'd like to know like how Nate Shagnon is right now, or where he was after, because you know how he is. He's like, bro.
He's probably on life support. He's got, I mean, it's rough getting sick.
Dude, his girl's fucking awesome, by the way. I don't know. Like,
I've met her a while ago. They've been together for quite a while, right?
Yeah, they've been together a while now. She's phenomenal. I don't know why she is with him.
I don't know like what she did in a past life or anything like that, but I mean, Nate's dating up. Yeah. Let's just say that. Yep. Let's just say that, dude. Dude. Oh goodness. My week was very fishy. Didn't catch any fish. Didn't do anything. Didn't go near the water at all. But I actually, my week was fishy enough. I had to take notes. So we had that day at Thayer's. That was awesome. Yep. But then it was later that night. So. Queen Beef and I went out for dinner that night. She was like, hey, do you want to go out? This was like on her agenda the whole time. She's like, do you want to go out and do drinks and apps? And that's kind of what we've been doing. And we ended up going out a little bit later than expected because we were just, neither one of us were like really very hungry at all. So we were like, let's go out a little bit later. And then she goes, I think I kind of want to try that new place. There's this spot in Westfield that does like tapas. It's called Tribeca.
Yep.
And
I love tapas. Yeah.
Me too. I think it's perfect. And I know the chef. He plays trivia with me. I didn't realize this in the beginning, but he and his group of friends, Hot Dog Ribbons Incorporated, they're awesome. Love them. They're great. They play with me sometimes, most of the time at like Delaney House, but they've been popping up in Northampton, popped up, I think, at Nathan Bill's as well. And they're great. They're awesome. And we had gone out and, we were like, we just ordered with our eyes, not with our bellies. We're like, okay. Sure, so we ordered 4 different items. And I ordered this cocktail. I forget what the name of it was. It was a specialty cocktail, but it was a Buffalo Trace cocktail. Have you ever had a cocktail with clarified bourbon?
I don't think so.
It is weird.
Explain.
It looks like you're drinking like a gin drink or a vodka drink, but it's definitely whiskey. And it's like, it's kind of crazy. I was like, no shit. I'm like, do you do that in-house? How does this work? I had no idea. It was so good. I had 2 of them. My wife had, she's a big gin drinker. She loves a good, like a good house.
I remember hearing that.
Negroni or something. She loves that. Yep. So she had 2 of those. And then she had an IPA afterwards. We ordered 4 different tapas and we shared them, and we left with 2 huge boxes of leftovers because we could barely put a dent in them. I think the shining star, there was 2 things that she knew I was going to want to order. One of them was the Texas Twinkies. Twinkies, it's like a stuffed jalapeno, and it's out of this freaking world. I want to say it's got like some kind of like pimento cheese and meat filling. It's out of this world. It's so good. Okay. And then the other one that I wanted was like called the Duck Duo, where it was like, I think a pate and a confit with like crostinis. Confit. And I love duck. I love, like, if BRB. Really? Yeah. I had this conversation with Nick up in Columbus.
I try.
Oh, really? Dude. I would consider duck hunting. I thought about this too, because I've got the boat. I could make it a blind in an hour. You know what I mean? If I were patient enough to do it, and I'd need the fucking dog because I'm not motoring over with a net. You know what I mean? That just seems a little like, seems like Holyoke duck hunting. You know what I mean?
Easy, I got this. Here's what we do. Because that's what I used to do with my dad after his dog died, and we take the boat, right? Okay. We bring it to the spot. I know some spots.
Okay.
We tuck it into a cove. We stick a small little fucking kayak into like the smallest kayak we could find into your boat. Right. And then
we didn't even have to do
the
that.
boat.
We could use a good kayak.
Yeah, we just do it with camo netting, dude. We cover them with camo netting. And then we get into our spots. And, dude, duck hunting, you only duck hunt for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because then they get into the lake and they don't move. Yep. So it's just when they're flying in or when they're flying out.
Yeah.
So we crack a few ducks. We take the fucking kayak out to grab them. And we bring them back.
That is not a terrible idea. That is not a terrible idea. And I have a stable enough kayak where we could actually tie it right off to the side of the boat. And just step right over and get
after
in.
my dad's dog died. So my dad's awesome.
I'm buying a shotgun, Joe.
and then the second one he got, like, to do it was so fucking gun shy, dude. You shoot the gun and she shoot into the woods. Like,
dude,
she was so afraid of it.
It's funny because I have been watching videos on like selecting your dog, and like it's I know it, dude. It's a thing, and I'm scared to do the walkthrough in a couple of weeks at the Sportsman Show in Springfield, because there's trainers that are there, and I'm gonna be asking questions, you know, and like, dude, a good hunting dog ain't cheap.
Are you going to the show?
I'm going to do a walkthrough because that week we have our firearms training course on the Saturday.
That's right.
I am going to do
that's
a
next
walkthrough.
Week. It's not this weekend. It's next week.
It was going to be tomorrow, and then I got a phone call from them, and they're just like, "We fucked up. That date shouldn't have been available."
It's Valentine's Day. We're very into like romance and shit.
And I was like,
"Well, the fucking camping show is there this weekend.
Is it
the
this
RV
weekend?
show?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should not let my wife know that. You
shouldn't tell Meg my fucking camper is probably down there right now.
Probably could very well could be.
Get sold. It's probably there for like $30,000.
They'll probably give you money to take it away. They're like, some dude that
this fucking piece of shit ordered it. He fucking ordered this thing and fucked us.
So yeah, we went out for dinner. It was awesome. I got home and where was I? Let me look at my notes. Where are my notes here? So yeah, I got home and I got a message from I have this little chat with the Bandit Fishing and with NJBFS.
Yep.
I got a text that the Hookup Tackle was doing a Bait Sanity micro glide bait drop for their micro gill glides. These are tiny, like 2¼ inch glides.
They're sick.
They're fucking dope. I was like,
they're fucking so dope.
They're like $20 a pop. I was like, I'm gonna shop around. So I set a reminder on my phone, and I was like, I even went so far. I was like, I'm pretty sure Arizona doesn't do daylight savings or anything like that. So I was like, what time should I set? So anyway, I set my alarm for like 11 a.m. so I could hit it just right. And I set an early reminder like 10 minutes before. And I was like, I'm going to look around at the Hookup Tackle and see if they've got some staple stuff that I might want to get. Dude, in my go-to color for swim baits for Kitex, they had the 2.8s and the 2-inch in the Easy Shiner, the Fat Impact 2.8s and the Easy Shiner 2-inch in my preferred color. I was like, I'm going to get a pack of those each. And then I was like, oh, I get a Lucky Craft pointer because they were on sale as well. And they had one in a nice perch pattern. It's like a 100 size. And I was like, I'm going to throw those in there. So then I just kind of sat around on the site and waited, refreshed. And when it went live, I picked up 4 of those micro glides. Dude, they're nice. They came in, and this is so cool because so the way this bait is set up, it has one tiny treble hook like right underneath the bait, right in the middle of it. And then on the back, it has another hook, but it's a single hook. The tail of this glide has a space that you can tuck that hook into so that it'll hold it out of the way. But if you get like a tail nip, it'll grab it. There's enough of that point sticking out.
Yeah.
There's also a magnet back there. So out of the box, these are tuned to float. And there's a magnet on the back side, and there's 2 tungsten weights that you can stick to the sides of the magnet, and you can set it to slow sink or to sink. I am just thinking, I saw these things, and the first thing I thought of was bed fishing. Because around here, dude, like bluegill, everything, but a small enough bluegill, like that thing will get inhaled and you'll be able to hook them so much easier than like some of my larger bluegill style swim baits where I'm like, that'll work. They get pissed and they chase it off. But this is small enough where they're going to just munch it. Done. Game over. Game over. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That came in earlier this week, and I am stoked. In fact, another one of my deliveries this week came in, and I got some. I got to utilize that pointer to see how that works. What else did I have going on? Spoke with Binya today, and on Monday, we're going to actually put the dates in for the slot tournament, the scavenger hunt tournaments, all for 2026. And we are doing a team-based tournament in New England. It's going to be based in region, and so some of our listeners I've talked about about doing this before, but we determined that it's going to be just in New England. This way, folks don't have to worry about being in a monthly where it's your best 5 all month.
Sure.
And they don't have to worry about like going up against folks that are further down south that might be able to throw in 20s nonstop. Come across those larger fish that much easier. So we're going to tinker and have some fun. But there's the possibility of a lot of growth. I have to look around. I'm trying to get some sponsorships, and I know it's late, so I'm going to be offering these sponsorships for the full season at like a major discount because I just want to get some visibility, get things moving. I dove into the deep end. I listened to an episode of BTL this week where the topic was mapping. And mapping specifically with all the different platforms.
You can do it, Bobby. I can't handle the fucking audio on that show.
On BTL? I think BTL is okay. I think, are you talking Basscast or something like that?
Bass After Dark. Never mind. I'm
Bass
sorry.
After Dark? Dude.
I'm sorry, BTL. That was my bad.
BTL, Matt does a great job. BTL, jumping into the deep end, like with mapping in a significant way, and it got me thinking. Like, I gotta pull the trigger on getting that chip. But I did download the CMAPS app. And I started tinkering around with that, and it is way better than the stock stuff that's already on my device. Way better. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Having the app is definitely going to help, as far as like planning. Because I'm one of those guys where like I'll look at a spot. Somebody will mention a lake to me and they'll be like, oh yeah, I was up fishing at such and such. It's pretty cool. And I just want to know the major structure that's going to stick out. Like, oh, are there a shitload of humps that I got to know about? How many steep ledges do we have? That's a big comfort zone thing for me. Yes. So I just kind of want to look at that stuff in advance to have an idea. And then it lets me know if I see like a juicy laydown or something, I'm like, well, there's deep water not too far from here. So if I can work this area. So it definitely helps. That was a big thing. I jumped into that, dove in head first with mapping. I do want to grab, I took my electronics off the boat before I wrapped everything up. And I do want to grab my Nocqua battery and run through some like, some stuff as far as like adjusting settings and stuff so it's ready to go once I get it in the boat. I kind of would like some shading for different depths and things like that. That's what I was tinkering around with on the app. I was like, that's pretty cool. Then the big one, the next thing was this. I got to ARC reached out to me. They reached out to me. It was only on Thursday. And they had mentioned that they have a new line of rods, one of their newer lines called the Sniper 2. Have you heard of this line, Joe?
Oh. I've heard of it, but that came out after I was a dealer for them.
Yes, it's relatively new, and they're trying to do a push with the sniper stuff. And they were like, "Listen, could you do some content? Like, we understand like where you're at. Like, you might not be fishing for a while, but like just like even like an unboxing and like a review or something." And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right, So I had it was actually Thanksgiving weekend. I had dropped a video about my lineup, my Spectrum. And I was like, well, if you guys have a rod in that lineup, that'll work with with glide baits in like that, like not giant range, but like up to maybe 4 ounces, that would work. And they're like, yeah, that lineup doesn't have anything like that, unfortunately. And I was like, okay, no worries. They're like, the Invoker does, the Invoker Tour. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll do that. I was like, but I know you guys are pushing the sniper thing. So I'm going to try. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a plug on that Invoker rod. And and the rod that I think I'm going to put together in that Sniper 2 lineup, it's a 7-foot medium heavy, and they call it regular. What that means is like moderate fast.
Moderate, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, moderate fast, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, because everything else that's in there, it's either fast or it's regular. So I'm like, all right, that'll work. I'm like, my thought is to go with a little bit lighter of a setup of what my moving bait rod is currently. So my thought is I want to be throwing like anything from like 3/16 up to like maybe 5/8 3/4 of an ounce on that. And then I can have my other moving bait rod for the heavier stuff. So I was like, confidence baits. That's the deal, you know. I'm not sure. Yeah. I might just say screw it and put 2 arc reels on there. I'm looking at the Gravity 3s specifically. It's an aluminum frame reel. It's got really great reviews. The only thing that I'm thinking about with the Gravity 3, I'm wondering if the size of the spool is worth it for that glide bait setup. If it's going to be too small, which it very well could be. I know at like 12-pound test, it says it'll hold like 100 yards. Oh, there she is, ladies and gentlemen.
She's not very happy about that. Here,
she's
put the headphones on for a second. Say hi to Bobby. Come on, put the headphones on. Meg, come here.
Meg, we were.
Come on over. Come on over.
We were just talking about your creative abilities with TikTok, and really the eye you have to capture a moment. You know. You've got a background in photography. It's like the whole family's there. It's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
She's going to murder me for this.
She is.
She's going to murder me for this.
if you're in danger, Joe, he doesn't even have to. If you're in danger, Joe, just shoot me a text and we'll try and
I'll shoot you a text if I'm in danger. She brought me down food.
That's awesome. That's a home run. So that's going on. That's the only thing that I'm concerned with that one gravity reel is it necessarily going to be the size that I need to, spool up for 20-pound fluoro or something like that to be able to make it realistic. But I might just say fuck it and try it, fuck around and find out, right?
Fuck around and find out.
Well, dude, Bobby, actually, you know what?
What's that?
I got some BFS reels coming for the shop, by the way.
Oh yeah. I
got some JDM BFS reels coming.
So yeah, we're gonna have to dive into some shit with the bait finesse world. 100%.
You're my guy, dude.
Yeah.
I told you. I need a list of shit, dude. You know a hell of a lot more than I do with the BFS stuff.
We'll put some good stuff together. Like I could rattle off brands specifically that I am crazy about, but I think that there's some other stuff. I'll do a little bit of research and put something real good together for you.
Hell yeah.
But let's go. What else do I have left on here? We're talking about and this. So I partnered. Or what am I saying? I posted a reel with that clip from Jacob Wheeler. And right after it, I used the clip from last week's show, just kind of promoting the show. And it was where we were answering Eli's question about the nomenclature and everything. And where the clip cut in was the point, like at the end of the show. Full disclosure, guys. It's a very good opportunity. Tonight's not one of those nights. Tonight is just a cocktails night. But there is a good opportunity that any night you're tuned in to Jigs and Bigs, if you're a jig head, that I have popped an edible, and it is
a fucking race
to the point where I am concerned. You know what I mean? Where Bobby Roast Beef goes from cheerful and happy to Joey fucking Diaz. And so this was that night. And I'm like, okay. And in there, I said something about the idea. I said something to the effect of like, man, you could blindfold me with dental floss. This is crazy. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hashables, baby. So then somebody had pointed it out and they were like, oh, it was Adam Blomeke. And he was like, I love those. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I tagged him just off the cuff. I was like, hey, Hashables, collab. They liked it so much. They want to work with me.
I saw them fucking
they liked it
and responding.
Yeah, so we were DMing back and forth, and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool, man. This is fucking really, really cool. So very, very cool. I would say it was a very, very fishy week overall. We got Ryan Parker. I confirmed with him. I feel pretty good that he's going to show. And he says, Joey Diaz more like the Canadian koala. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, my friend. Definitely not. But yeah, that was
Bobby.
What's up?
I got a couple shout outs to make.
Make them. Do it.
So our friend Javi and our friend the Bandit and our friend the Bandit.
Chris, the Bandit, baby.
Both reached out to me like the same fucking day. I don't know if they coordinated this, but they had some shit that they wanted to fucking move. Oh, they're like, hey man, I think you could move this on Whatnot.
Yes.
And we came up to an agreement, and both their fucking packages came in today.
No shit.
So yeah, thank you to you guys. You guys are fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
I've been texting the both of them, but yeah. I just want to give a shout out here on the show to Javi and the Bandit.
They're
man.
good. I mean, dude, the Jigs and Bigs listeners, like, you guys don't understand. I'm on social media all the time, and I try to interact with as many folks as possible, and they're in the loop constantly, you know. And there's the list goes on and on and on and on. And I could be here all day shouting out folks that I talk with, but it is fucking really cool. Like, just to like, this community is amazing. So that is fucking awesome, dude. That is absolutely fucking awesome.
This is a first. This is a first, Bobby.
Yeah.
For me eating fucking buffalo wings while recording.
That's amazing right there. I think that's the first. No, I'm fairly certain Sean has eaten food while we've been recording as well.
You won't even know it, I promise. No, you won't even know it.
I want to say Sean almost fucking choked to death on the show eating ice cream, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say there was one.
Oh, shout out to Savage Smash and Spencer, Bobby. You got to get fucking you and the old lady got to go out there. It's fucking amazing.
I'm
if
a
you
wing
like
guy.
smash burgers and shit.
I love all of my things. There is one thing one of my trivia accounts started doing. They do this thing called they like, when I first started, they were still kind of like surviving off of this shared menu between the sports bar that I work out of and then the full restaurant on the other side. They were all working off that one menu. And like 2 weeks into trivia, they implemented their own menu for the bar. And they started doing smash burgers, and smash burgers are great, you know, but they've kind of, the restaurant was bought. There's a brand new owner for the first time in 50 years, brand new owners, and they wanted to kind of refresh things. So they started doing what they call the
Smash of the Week.
And that won't not be funny to me. It won't not ever be funny to me. And like, some of them are pretty interesting, man. They kind of take it for a rip, but yeah, I'm a buffalo wing guy.
So I know, so aren't I? I'm eating those B wings right now, those boneless or those boned buffs. But dude, you know what's cool about Savage Smash?
Boned buffs.
Boned buffs. Dude, they do a smashed like chicken sandwich there.
Oh, really?
They do like that's actually something I get all the time. They do a smashed buffalo chicken fucking like sandwich. It is so fucking good.
Really?
Jay, if you live right down the street, if you haven't been to Savage Smash yet, you're out of your effing mind.
Savage Smash.
Put the kids in the crates, give them some water, and bring the wife down to Savage Smash. It's so good, dude.
Put the kids in the crates. Oh, Mikey's in Springfield.
Well, I haven't been there.
No, I haven't been to Mikey's, but I've heard. Fucking A. I do love a good burger. I really do. I'm a burger guy. Let's why don't we do this? We have some crazy shit to talk about. Like, it's headlines time. And I know Joe said he had one in mind, but I dropped a nugget and it was just like, no, we gotta cover this sucker. So let's go ahead. We'll dive into it. Here's headlines.
So, Bobby, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over my initial small one first. Then you and I are going to have a conversation about the second one because I think that's a little bit juicy.
I think the second one is pretty fucking juicy. Let's just say now, start your popcorn now in the microwave.
Start your popcorn in the microwave now. You have about enough time for me to finish this story because this one's good because it's local to me.
Yep.
So, Bobby, did you know that a car broke through the ice on a West Brookfield lake, otherwise known as Wickabog?
The guy that I was afraid was going to get me sick at trivia was telling me about this earlier this week.
So, a vehicle crashed through the ice on a lake in West Brookfield known as Wickabog Lake or Pond.
On a Wickabog
conditions reported early Saturday across the state. West Brookfield police and other emergency personnel responded to Lake Wickabog after a Jeep. It wasn't even like a Jeep Wrangler. It was a Jeep fucking Grand Cherokee.
Oh, you loser.
Went into the water around 7:39 a.m. No one was inside the vehicle at the time it went through the ice, police said, and there were no reported injuries. A towing responded to the scene and crews were working safely move the Jeep from the water. Police had urged caution in the area and are reminding all residents of visitors that ice conditions can be unpredictable and dangerous. It's unclear what the Jeep was doing on the ice fishing, or why no one was inside of it at the time, but police say is under investigation. And I'm gonna let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead, X that out. Here we go. I'm gonna show you a little something.
Let's do it. Let's take a look.
We got a photo. We got a photo here.
Wicked Todd falls in the wicked bog. Oh. Let's take a look at this.
Right.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, so he's a big dope. Big dope. Here we go.
Knuckleheads in the news. Yeah,
So,
there you
dude,
go.
Here's not. Look at all the ice fishermen in the background, like those fucking
You
idiots.
idiot.
So, couple things about Lake Wickabog. Well, number one, he made it out. He was in like the middle of the lake here, and I know this because, my drive to and from work, I go right by it. And I could see where it's all like they have flags and stuff right now to be like, hey, stay away from here.
Yep.
And dude, there's a reason why I've never seen fucking a vehicle on Lake Wickabog, a full-size vehicle. Stop it. And that's because it's fucking spring-fed, man. You can't put a vehicle on a spring-fed pond or lake.
What a dummy.
So you never that'd be like South Pond. You love South Pond, Bobby. That's a spring-fed body of water.
Yeah,
you
don't
do
want
not.
Nope.
You could walk 2 feet and have 12 inches of ice, and walk another 2 feet and have 2 inches of ice.
Yes.
You know, you just. So this person obviously did not know that. That thing will hold some fish.
Sean says that thing. Jesus, that thing will hold some fish. They're on the Jeep Liberty pattern.
Yeah.
How now knowing how far he is, like, do you think they were just like, it's structure? Because
I was hoping they left the fucking Jeep in there, dude,
That's
so I
what
could
I'm
fish
saying.
it this
like
summer.
That's what I figured. They're like, it's structure now, you know.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Oh yeah, there's tons of springs under there, and you know how. No, I'm not gonna say it because that's like one of my secrets. But yeah, dude, he was like right in the middle. He was like right in the middle of the lake, man. And it's funny because like you know those like tall ass like banner flag things that like are in like the front of stores and stuff.
Yep,
they have like 6 of those surrounding the hole right now. To be like, hey, don't go around here.
That's insane.
They're just like flapping in the wind. But
so I have a couple of questions here. I have to, because obviously like this guy obviously like his insurance won't cover it because he wasn't driving it on the road. Dude. He's fucked. So he's out. But we do know that when that happens, when your vehicle enters a body of water, the EPA comes after you hard. Do you think that the fine has been like amplified a little bit or like multiplied simply because it's a
Mopar engine that was surely leaking oil?
Fuck you, man. I have a Mopar engine. It doesn't leak an oil I know of. Dude, it's funny because like when I came,
Sean Hagan says I'm the guy that tells hey you can't park there.
So when I was coming home from work today, like there's a road that is perpendicular to Route 9 that comes out right at the lake.
Yep.
And that's how I come home from work. And I looked down there, dude, and there was like a couple like UTVs and like crews with reflective like jackets and stuff, so they obviously were like probably doing some kind of water testing or something.
It makes me wonder because it's like if it was that far out, like
he was far, bro.
Like how do you pull that out of the water, like from that distance? Because like it's not like you could bring another truck out there.
No, and like I don't know how I don't know how they did it. Like
it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's
like
crazy.
I could see the line on the photo, but my guess is they probably pulled it up onto somebody's fucking instead of the beach, they probably brought it onto someone's fucking lawn or something, because it's way too far from the beach, dude.
I know you
or the boat ramp
have some history specifically with one homeowner over there that gets his fucking panties in a bunch just when people fish in that area. But how hard do you think he hit the ceiling when this shit happened?
Either he got, I don't know, it went one of two ways, Bobby. Either he got a huge chub or it went wicked soft because he was just so mad.
It could have been, it definitely could have been either way, because it's been a whole adventure.
It could have been either. I don't know. I don't know if it he loves the
drama,
the conflict, or if he hates it. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God. John Hagen says, reminds me of the meme where the guy calls the insurance company to report he hit an animal. He says, what did you hit? And he says, a walleye. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Knuckleheads, man. Yeah. Knuckleheads.
I love it. I love it when it's local stuff. You know?
It's the best. It is the best. I totally forgot about that. I'm glad you brought it up. Man, that is freaking good. So this next one is fucking juicy. And I hope your popcorn's ready, guys. It's fucking juicy. You want me to dive into it?
Oh yeah. Go for it. Okay. Go for it. You found it.
So I want to go ahead and give obviously credit where credit's due. I had a conversation today with Scales and Tales, which is a podcast via Instagram, and I happened to come across a story that he posted, and he said, "Listen, I have seen this this reel and this post on TikTok, and people are talking about it on Facebook, and it got me thinking." And then he shared the two pieces of content that were out there, and it has to do with this tournament trail called Dual Threat. Now, apparently, Dual Threat is a sizable trail with like some pretty big names, like names that Joe recognized right away, and their checks are bouncing. Like bouncing hard. So it caught my attention right away. I was like, wait a minute, we kind of heard about this. Now, apparently Dual Threat is a trail where there's no entry fee. You know, so I'm assuming you have to qualify or something. You have to be at a certain like pedigree or a certain level in order to qualify, in order to be able to compete. But the prize money is not from any entry fees or anything like that. So that'll be interesting. But I mentioned to Scales and Tales, I said, listen, similar situation kind of happened recently. Like I don't know if it was last year or the year before with ABA. And I said the larger derbs passed beyond like that local, like regional level. Many of the checks just never cleared. And that there was talk that there was a boat that was given, I guess, to the champion. And the company was apparently never notified that they were sponsoring such and such contest. And he responded by saying, he's like, yeah, this is insane. He goes, I got kind of a weird vibe looking at their socials. And then once I started seeing guys complain, he said it all started to make a little bit more sense. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because they never paid to play. It might just be straight up like a fraudulent thing that they're called on. This could be fucking criminal, actually. You know, like not even like, oh, hey, you owe us whatever. This could be really bad. And I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Because you were kind of involved with the ABA stuff.
Yeah. I see the ABA stuff being a little bit worse, and here's why.
Yep.
The ABA, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Paying to play is, and then not getting your money is worse than the money coming from like sponsorships and stuff.
Or somebody bankrolling, exactly.
So they knew, like, you know, you do the math and you do the amount of people that entered the tournament that they didn't pay, like the one I was in. We know you have the money, but for some reason you're not paying out.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you know, this is like, and dude, I'm looking at this, and they're putting out like $100,000 checks here. This is a fishing league that I've never even really heard of. So where the fuck are they getting $100,000?
Yep.
You know, for a tournament?
And it's interesting because like we're talking about this, and like we already mentioned World Bass Enterprises earlier, but we had a little bit of a conversation. I don't want to get too into the details and anything, but like that is privately funded. Like the organization World Bass Enterprises, They're not fucking worried about this at all. This is going to be, you do not have to worry about that. Like, it sounds like they're,
we got the DL on that.
The
one.
fucking boxes are checked. You'll be good to go. And they're like, this is just fucked.
Yeah, it's like, and here's like, here we go. Championship. You guys want to hear the championship payout?
I gotta know.
Actually, no. Let's do the regular season payout first, and I'm gonna start at the top 10. The top 10 for the actually, let me let's put it up on the screen,
okay.
Bobby. Let me see if I can share it again. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Oh, stop screen. Let's do it again. Share screen. Share screen. Payout.
Because this is a big deal.
Yeah. So here you go. So this is a regular like season tournament. So 25, 7,000. Dude, for 25th, 7,000. That's big bucks.
That's great.
So it pretty much goes, whatever. Then let's get it. What's going on? All right. So let's get into the top 10 here.
There you go.
10.
Okay.
Look at first place, bro.
100 grand. God. No entry fee.
100 grand for a regular season tournament. Yeah. You guys, you want to see the championship now?
Oh, no.
Big Bass, 5,000. So 20, 13.
That's good.
Here we go. Let's look at the top 10 here. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 30, 40, 50, 100, and then 250 plus a Bitcoin.
Holy fuck, dude. That's a crazy high value fucking prize.
Big.
Man.
That's big fucking dough, man.
Yeah.
So who's backing them? Where is their capital coming from?
Yeah, man, that is.
And those are not for you, pal. So let's I'm trying to do some research here, and I'm like, you think here's what's weird, Bobby. So we're looking at this site right now. What's the first thing leagues put up on their page, all over their pages?
Usually sponsors. Yeah.
Not one sponsor on here. So I don't see one sponsor anywhere.
Man.
So where the fuck is where's like nowhere on the page is there one sponsor. Nowhere.
That's fucked.
So where's that money coming from?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
If you don't pay anything to play, and there's no like, so the next tournament here, the next tournament's at Eufaula. Dude, they still have 1, 2, 3, 4 tournaments plus a championship to go.
Jesus Christ.
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man. And you know what? I'll tell you what, if it is sponsor funded and you're not seeing that money, no wonder why the sponsors aren't paying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So if it is sponsor funded and this is how you fucking here, hold on. Let's hit this more thing.
Sponsored by your local cartel, John Hagen says.
Like even when I hit there is nothing on here.
Yeah.
About sponsors. Not one fucking thing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Even ABA has their sponsors all over their fucking page, dude. Everywhere.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
So I think the real question here is where, like, if it's free to play, where is that supposed money coming from? Where's it coming from?
Yeah, you got to be like at least quasi transparent about like, hey, this is where the funds are coming from, because like if it's a private bankroll and somebody's just like, oh, hey, I made some shitty trades or whatever, and they fucked up, and now that money's gone, you're fucked. And you would think that they would want to have sponsors involved if for no other reason than to just cover their ass.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Like, you and I got the DL from Jacob Wheeler as to where the money for that tournament's coming. And we both of you were kind of like, okay.
Yeah. And then it was like, gotcha.
Unless it's something like that, dude, think about it. That's over $1 million in payouts. I don't even have to do the math. It's at least over $1 million.
Exactly. That's a shit ton of money. That's a shit ton of money.
That's a shit ton of money. And a Bitcoin, dude, that fluctuates. Bitcoin goes from 60 to 100,000 in days.
Minutes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like nothing.
So that's where it's like, ooh, is this like an investor, like someone who has like, because the Bitcoin thing, I was like, ooh, that's not old money either. That's like young investors do the Bitcoin bullshit.
Yep.
So that's where kind of you're like, oh, does someone have like a bad trade or something? That's where I'm like,
Very well could be, man. It very, very well could be. If they involve and if they include Guadalupe Bass, it's a dead giveaway, John Hagen says. I don't know.
Nice
it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out.
Weird, dude.
It is. It's really weird, man. It is really, really weird.
The learning
Chase says the learning center. Oh, supported by Mr. Beast. That's very well could be the new Mr. Bass. That's the trail. That's the trail. Mr.
Crazy,
Bass,
man.
Smashables.
We're gonna have to do some more research on that shit.
Yeah. I don't even know, man. That's crazy. That is nuts to me. But here we are, man. It's like people, and I will say, like, folks in the tournament scene, like, when you're into it, you look at these prizes, and you look at like all this, that the potential winnings, and you're like, of course I'm going to enter. Of course I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? And it's like with this kind of a situation, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Because I don't think
we got some breaking. We got something breaking on this.
Oh, we got breaking stuff. What's going on?
Who's that? Who's that? I didn't even notice until just now.
Who is that?
That's fucking Scott Martin and his daughter, bro.
Oh, that is Scott Martin. That is Scott Martin.
Ooh, the plot thickens, Bobby. The plot thickens.
Wow.
Oh, read my comment above. Oh, did Bogley already?
He very well.
Did he already catch it?
He may have, yeah.
Oh, Bogley's on the case.
Damn.
Bogley's on the case.
Damn. Was Hook a sponsor? If that's the only sponsorship they got was their own tent. Really? Oh, man, I don't know. We're going to see. Chase says, is that Kid Rock?
Kid Rock.
Oh, God. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Why don't we do this, guys? Let's recoup after this, and we'll come back with round number 2. And we had a question come in. This was last week, actually, while I was doing some prep for the show. A question came in from one of our regular listeners, and I was like, that is a good question. I'm going to do a little bit of homework and put together a good Just the Tip. We're going to talk about
science.
You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
Next up, a laughing session from The Laughing Cow. Now, unpeel a wedge of The Laughing Cow light spreadable cheese, a delicious snack with 2 grams of protein and 25 calories per wedge.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys, this week's Just the Tip, it comes from a listener down in New Jersey. And the question is a really, really good one. When we transition from winter into spring up north, what's actually coming to life? And here's the key. This isn't just about bass waking up. This is about the entire lake turning back on. First, for a little bit of quick context, in northern fisheries, whether you're in the northern mid-Atlantic, New England, the Midwest, or even parts of the Rockies, winter is basically a hard reset. You got cold water, reduced oxygen movement, limited light, minimal metabolism. Fish, they don't stop living, but everything slows way down. Spring isn't a light switch. Think of it more as a chain reaction. The first thing that's going to wake up is the micro life. The best part of waking up ain't that Folgers bullshit or even coffee, period. It's nature. The first thing that comes back to life isn't the fish, or definitely not the predators. It's microscopic life. We're talking about plankton, algae, zooplankton. As daylight starts increasing and surface temperatures creep into the upper 30s and the 40s, these are the organisms that start reproducing again. And that might not sound very exciting, but this is the very foundation of everything. No plankton means no bait, and no bait means you got no predators. Next up, it's the bugs and the bottom life. Mayflies, midge larvae, bloodworms, scuds, yes, and crawfish too. Crawfish, they don't go full send yet, but they do start moving around during warm afternoons, especially found on mud flats or rock transitions. Shallow, dark bottom areas. This is why early spring bites often feel like, man, they're just picking it up. And then once the bugs and plankton come alive, the bait fish are soon to follow. And depending on your region, that could be shiners, it could be perch, it could be young of the year panfish, early bluegill movement. They're not really rushing the bank, they're sliding. North-facing coves are a good spot to look at. Shallow pockets protected from the wind. Areas that warm first, not necessarily fastest. And what bass are doing is really the big question. It's all about the bass. In early spring, they're not hunting aggressively. What they're doing is repositioning. And here's how they're doing it. They're leaving their true wintering holes. They're going to stage on those first breaks, sitting near access to shallow water, not necessarily up in that shallow water. Their metabolism is increasing and climbing, but they're still conserving energy, waiting for easy meals. And that's why jerkbaits work so well. It's why finesse jigs shine and slow rolled moving presentations will get crushed. Here's the real just the tip. Their big takeaway, if you will. Spring isn't really about temperature alone. It's about the biology too. Every move fish make is tied to light, food availability, oxygen, and safety. If you're fishing like it's spring, but the lake isn't, or the lake hasn't biologically turned on just yet, you're just a little bit too early. If you match what part of the food chain is waking up at that time, then you're dangerous. So whether you're in Jersey, up here in New England, you're in the Midwest, or anywhere else that sees ice, don't ask, are bass shallow yet? Just ask, what just came back to life and who's eating it? That's how you stay ahead of the curve. Nature, baby. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. We have often spoken about different spawn sequences, like cold weather fish, cold water fish, like, perch and your chain toothy bastards, like your pike and your chain pickerel and stuff. They get a little bit more active at different parts of the year. But really, that's the foundation. Like that for your typical bass angler, like that ramp up into literally life in that ecosystem is what's going to start, making things kind of take off for you in the spring. What do you think, Joe? You got anything you want to add to this?
I got a really bad grade in science all through school and college.
Fair enough.
I don't have much to say here,
Fair
but
enough.
no, it's this is something I try to. People don't take the science of fish. All right, let me back this up.
Mm-hmm.
Serious anglers don't take the science of fish and their patterns and their life cycles and their behavior serious enough.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. For a lot of folks, it's like, oh, it's pre-spawn, spawn, summer, and then fall. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Where I have read what they call the holy grail of fishing literature.
Yep.
Knowing bass. And it was very eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of the shit you're talking about is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just understanding that behavior because guess what Bobby and I are dealing with is not going to be what John's dealing with. It's not going to be what Javi's dealing with. It's not going to be what Todd's dealing with. You have to get to know your region, your area. You have to know your bait fish. You have to because there's several different stages of the bait fish. Like for us, for bass, we have the plankton that the bait fish eat. But then the bait fish are eaten by the bluegills and the bass as well as the perch. But the bass will eat the bluegills and the perch, and the shiners and the fall fish, and it just keeps going. So it's that life cycle there, and what they call it, was it a predator cycle or whatever? I'm cooked. I've already had 2 big glasses of whiskey, so
that's all right.
But anyway, yeah, dude, it's do yourself a favor if you want to get. It's one thing to watch and have the idea of like, ooh, this bait does that. This bait does this. This bait is better for this. None of that shit matters.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the science, the food chain. The food chain or how your waterways work. Because guess what, Bobby? The Connecticut River works different than Lake Wickabog.
100% it does. Yeah, you're absolutely
You know
right.
what I mean? So you have to understand. Do yourself. I'm not saying go and do all this crazy research in this and biology on the fish, but do a little bit of research into the science of bass. Trust me on this. It super opened my eyes over this winter.
Yep.
Recent. And I will say this, the shit that I've read, especially like reading this book and taking the notes I've taken, this upcoming fishing season is going to be different from any other one I've ever had.
That's awesome. I'm stoked.
And because of like kind of looking into, because it's, you get into you consistently get into the patterns of, oh, I'm going to fish this dock. I'm going to fish this grass. I'm going to fish this laydown. I'm going to fish this overhang, and you just get into that repetitive cycle.
Oh yeah.
And, but with the biometric or the temperature of the water, the weather, the barometer, yeah, cool. That's what everyone fishes, is that overhang or that structure or that laydown. But there's a reason why that fish actually might be hanging deep in the middle of that lake right now.
It's true,
because of something going on with the weather or the water or whatnot. So it's do a little bit of research.
And there's definitely like environmental things to pay attention to as well. Like it's one thing for the biology, but like we've said it on the show forever, like the northwest corner is going to be your warmest water. It's going to be the spot where things are going to warm up the first. And there are going to be things that are going to change that. Like if you've got a stream that feeds in the northwest corner, that's going to cool that down. That might not be, or you might have something in an area where you've got a bunch of rocks and those rocks are holding more sunlight. Like they might not be getting it right away, but long term they might be. They might be holding more heat. So fish might kind of like gravitate a little bit toward that. Jay Manning says phytoplankton, bitches. And then John Hagan says lots of minnow species, chubs, and different species of small suckers all move into spawning mode in March and early April. And that attracts predators as well. 100%. And then Jay Manning goes, where's my phytoplankton finesse bait? John Hagens chimes in, says, I find big flatheads that are close to sandbars where suckers gather to spawn in the spring. And I mean, it just makes sense. It's like a buffet. All of this young bait is there, and this forage is all, gathering in this one area. It makes perfect sense. I think Jay Manning says a good YouTube deep cut is this guy from The Nature of Fishing. I think I've talked about him before. He covers a lot of this stuff.
I think so.
And he's a very, very interesting guy. Jay also says, I find that looking for big batches of hatching flies on the surface is a good hack in the spring. 100%, especially if there are trout, I would say, in that body of water that you're fishing. Because like when they stock trout, sometimes they stock trout and they're just a little bit on the small side. Those are bass candy. Like they're just going to eat them up. Speaking of like different, organisms in a body of water, It was only like this year. I was always under the belief that like basically after a certain temperature, crawfish went dormant. Like they just like they didn't necessarily like hibernate, but like they were not to be seen. Like they were buried way underground. And was it? I think it might have been Binya actually had sent me some video ice fishing, and he's got an underwater camera, and there's crayfish, and they're not very active. They're tight on the bottom, but you can see them moving around, like circling around. And there's a bunch of perch and stuff swimming around nearby. It was kind of crazy to see. Fishing in the Stick says, I heard the fuzzy baits represent plankton and the bass eat them as fry, but when they get big, they don't have them. Then you drop a big plankton looking bait. They're like, oh shit. I could see that. In fact, I have some fuzzy dice baits that I am looking to fool around with that I want to tinker with, like some nail weights and some Nico weights.
He's right. That is the science behind those things.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, no, I think that's 100%. Like it's just something to pay attention to. Another thing, like honestly, like fishing with like trout magnets, you know, those wicked tiny jigs. I mean, if I got to be totally honest with you,
Pig Jigs already has a bunch of fucking amazing baits
for exactly that stuff, like the really small forage, you know, and like if you can, you know, if you, I'll give you this tip. Maybe you're, you know, throwing some really, really tiny stuff and you're finding that there's these small perch all over the place. Throw a perch jerkbait. You know what I mean? Imitate that small predator, and it's a food chain. You know, just go ahead and take it up. This was a great question. This one came in. This was, I think, like the week before last, and I was like, "That is a good question." In fact, it was in Pig Nation, in that group where I had asked a bunch of them. I was like, "What do you guys want to know?" And it was one of our regular listeners in there that was like, "I got a good one for you." I was like, "That's a freaking great one, dude. Yeah. That's a really
that was
good
a great question. It's good to know that someone's head is there.
Yeah.
In the science of the fishing.
100%. Like, they're like, what?
I completely, once I started looking into that, I completely opened my eyes to a different aspect of fishing.
It's so crazy because like fishing is, it's, I've said this like from the beginning of the show, really. Fishing in whatever species you're fishing for, it's one part science meets one part art. You know what I mean? And like, there's something magical that happens there that makes it really, really unique. But I am excited for this because this is now 2 weeks in a row we've had this segment. So let's buckle up. I'm interested to know how this all goes down for Joe.
It's time to go broke on the boat. Joe and Bobby's guide to fishing your funds away.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
All right, Bobby, I told you to cue this because I need not only your help, but the help of the listeners.
Yep.
In deciding whether I want to be broke or not. From something I want to do to the boat.
Oh, something you...
So let's have a conversation.
This involves a new outboard.
No.
All right. I was just curious after that conversation.
After that stuff, I'm not because I'm not gonna throw out brands or anything like that. But after that conversation I heard, I would never go to that brand.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So right now I am running the Humminbird helixes, and I have to, for all my mapping, I have to get different cards to input them. Right?
Wait, for each one?
So bear with me.
Okay.
So I did not go to the Solixes, the touchscreen, because at the time, their networking wasn't the best for like how I have mine set up, where everything talks to everything else.
Yes.
The helixes were better for that, even though they're not touchscreen. The helixes were just networking better. So I said, okay, let's do that. Fast forward. Humminbird has recently come out with the Explorer. The Explorer is a touchscreen. It's obviously it's not the Apex or anything.
Yeah.
But here's the caveat. They come with all of those maps of the US preloaded already.
They're ready to go.
Dude, those cards are $200 a piece.
I know. The Lake Master ones?
It's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. It's
yes,
nuts.
Lake Master.
Now, let me ask you this. Maybe this is just me being ignorant to this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a micro SD card, right?
No, it's a full SD card.
Okay, so it's a full SD card.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you copy it?
No, they have it blocked, so you can't.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I trust me. I looked into that one. So, but here's the thing. I kind of wanted the touch screens because, and here's why. When I'm I love side scanning. I love just running it idle and side scanning, and I have to like hit the cursor, like fucking finger fuck the thing to try to get.
You're preaching to the choir there, dude.
Whereas like I could just touch it like on the
drag it over and then zoom it in.
Spot.
Yeah.
Yep. So here's what I'm thinking. There's a couple companies, I'm not going to name them, that will install them, replace them, and take your other units as trade.
Okay.
Towards the amount.
That's nice.
So I'm trying to figure out if that is worth it for me. Here's the next step. I also have the Minn Kota Ultrex. And they came out with the Quest.
Yep.
So I'm thinking at the same time, maybe I fucking put the Quest on there too, because it's brushless, a little quieter, a little smoother.
Sure.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm waiting for the quotes to come back of how much it's going to cost me with those trade-ins. But I want to know what your thoughts are, Bobby, and I want to know what everyone out there's thoughts are. Is this something that I should consider? Should I hold off? Should I not do it at all? Is it not going to be worth it? I want to know what everyone thinks.
So immediately, I think, like, what's your tournament schedule look like for this year? Like, what are you doing for tournaments this year?
I'm definitely going to do the Thayer's Marine tournaments, which are big water.
Yep. Yes. Okay.
Big water. And I'm going to do the localized ABA ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should do it.
Okay.
I think you should do it. I only say that because if you're making that investment into the tournaments, just based on the touchscreen alone and the savings of the fact that all the stuff is preloaded, so that by not needing cards, you save yourself there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about with them being preloaded. Is this like access to automatically update?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
I would assume so.
Yeah, because it's
here's the part I forgot.
Yep.
I was also thinking about adding a third. So what? I have 1, 2, 3 helixes right now.
That's all.
I was thinking about adding a fourth on the front and having 3 screens on the front, so I could have my mapping, which I don't have right now on the front.
Yep.
My mapping, my 360, and my live scope. That's the part I missed.
I would do it. I would absolutely do it. And actually, John makes a really good point. He goes, if the camper's still on the back burners, fuck it, blow the water. My man.
Yeah, you're right.
My man.
You're right.
Guido.
You're right.
Yes, Guido.
This is a nice one. I like what Zach said too.
He says, if you can afford it and want it, who gives a shit? If you can't afford it, nut up and work on your skills. That's the alternative. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I would say, like, if you were like, I'm not really doing much for tournaments this year, I would say work with what you got for now. Yeah. But if you got, and that's the thing, like those Thayer's tournaments are big water. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're going to see a better return on that. The trolling motor, I'm not sold on. You know what I mean? But like, I also
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
If you like, if it's already going to be in the shop, maybe. And that's the other thing too. It's like, really, I'm not sure when the first tournaments are, but like, you're going to want to do this quick, right? Like probably within weeks.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. I would have to say, like, with your schedule the way that it is, like if you're not going to be, you know, living in the poorhouse, you know what I mean? Like I would say go for it, you know, but better to do it now than when you retire too.
Yeah.
You know, think about that.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to be an adjustment. You know what I mean? That's just going to be a life adjustment. And then you get it out of the way and it's done. And then when you retire, you're good. Like, I do definitely see where the touchscreen, there is a benefit, for it. But like,
I kind of, dude, Richie Thayer is the one who talked me out of it. And I kind of wish I didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
Like I was like, and that's where Thayer's is awesome because they weren't trying to give me the most expensive thing.
Well, and that's
he's like, dude,
well, let's be honest. He may have been like,
I'm going to get this guy to buy this fucking Icon, but I might scare him off if I got to put him top level on the electronics.
I'm just saying. It's possible.
Sick Icon, but dude, all you need is these hook 5s. That's all you need on this thing.
That's it. Get a Striker 2 on the front. like that's the thing. I think that like if you're competing and you're like you've already got the boat that you've got with the horsepower, with the accoutrements, like the fucking Raptor. You've got Raptors on your boat, right?
Yeah, I have power poles.
They're power poles. So with the power poles and with like all the everything, the scope, everything, like you might as well do it the right way and not cut corners on the. And if it's, I'll tell you what, it's nice because it's not like you're doing this on your own and you're going to have these units that now you have to sell because it's like just a flip. I mean, I don't know what the difference is. I assume it's probably fairly sizable, the amount that they're charging for it because they're getting labor and stuff for it,
Yeah. That's why it's like one shop we're familiar with, one shop we're not. So I'm gonna see.
Yep. Yeah,
so we'll see.
I would say like if you're in those trails already, I would 100% like if you were just doing the ABA local stuff, I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
But like the Thayer stuff is big water, and that's the kind of thing where mapping is going to be really good. I will tell you the one thing that I 100% believe in is get the app on it. If you have an iPad,
oh yeah,
put that Lake Master app on your iPad, the Humminbird app.
I've got it.
Okay, perfect. Because then you're doing
and
a lot
avionics.
of this. Yeah. Oh, there you go, man. And that's the thing. And it's funny because Zach just says earlier, he goes, yeah, man, it's over $1,000 to get all the shit as far as mapping goes. He is not wrong. But in reality, like I really do. I think like if you're trying to be competitive, you might as well utilize every opportunity tool that you have access to. So I would 100% go for it.
Yes, that's what I needed.
Good. There we go.
I need 3 people in here
email
to
from
really solidify it. I need 3 people in here right now to say yes, Joe, do it. Let's go. I mean, and then I will really do it.
I think if you're counting me, I think we got the 3. We got Zek that says go for it. We got John Hagens that says go for it. I'm saying go for it. I have a feeling if we look around here enough, Jay Manning's going to be like, yeah, do it.
Hold on, let me check. No, he hasn't texted me yet.
There's Mark. Mark says go for it. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, I would like there is a part of me that's still like I think Humminbird has like everybody I've spoken to about like mapping, they all say that Lake Master is some of the best. As far as
it 100 like here, and here's where it is. It's like I'll be like, no, I don't think I've ever done this with you, but there'll be points where like I have a map on the front where I like have to switch it back from my 360. Yeah. But it's not the Lake Master. It's like the standard one and it sucks. So I'll be like, hey, are we close to that ledge or whatever? I have marked there. You know what I mean? So it's like, so they're like, ooh, go left, go right. So I'm like, I'm fucking sick of this, dude.
It's tough, man. It is. It's tough. Todd nailed it. He goes, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think you're good. I would honestly, I would say in all seriousness, like it probably like I do think Humminbird makes one hell of a product. Like the Mega 360 is, I am so jealous. I would love to dick around with that on my boat. That's my favorite piece of equipment.
I like that thing better than the Live Scope.
So many people say that shit. Like I would do that in a second, but like here's the thing, man. I am not gonna fucking pay for that shit. It ain't gonna happen.
It's so expensive.
It's not gonna happen. Like I'm not gonna make that kind of investment in my boat until I am close to paid off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just where I'm at.
Well, Bobby was looking at other boats at Thayer's, everybody.
Oh, I was eyeballing some of the other, although I'll tell you what, some of those new color Lunds that they've got, they didn't have any of them in. And I was like, I am so happy with my boat. But I will say, like, I even told my wife, I was like, this isn't like the only
your
boat. Your boat's
like fucking
boat.
Dope, dude. I love your boat.
It is dope. It's going to eventually be a Quabbin boat because there will be like a Pro V guide in my future. Like, there will be a big Lund in my future. It not necessarily right now, but I would love to comfortably go on Lake Ontario.
Make that a Quabbin boat and then guide people on the Quabbin, bro.
That's exactly what I would do. 100%.
Fuck yeah.
100%. My goal is what I want to do is put a 60 horse on the back and get the cover for a 25. Just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'll just fucking redo the graphics,
Just
cut that.
I don't know if the
They can't hear that
25s
shit.
are like,
there's
if
EPOs
the 25s have a computer, just fucking flash it to a 50, dude.
Oh.
You could do that.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I mean, I probably could just take my 50.
That's like my motor. I was talking to Matt Shogren, like my 250, dude. He's like, dude, all your components are the same as like the 300 and the 4. He's like, it's just the computer. He's like, we can flash this thing and it'll be a fucking 400 or whatever. And I'm like, me, I'm like, ooh, like
maybe that's,
but like, I'd be fucked if my maybe I'll do that when my warranty's up on my motor. But we also know how Joe is, and I probably won't have the boat that long to where, so we'll see.
That'll be fucking pretty interesting, man. Yeah, I don't know
what I'm gonna do. I'm
that?
gonna change the decals on my boat and put 25 horse on the side of the. Fucking
you
motor.
100% should. I could
splash it in the Quabbin.
I could almost get away with that shit because like my boat tops out at 30. It's no big deal, But it would be great. It would be really comfortable to guide out of on Quabbin. Really.
What's yours have now?
A 50.
Does it have a 60 now or a 50?
No, it's got a 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full tank of gas. I can get, I think, 32 if it's just me and like a quarter of a tank of gas.
It's so fucking stupid, bro.
It is.
So, like, you see the boats that they rent out at the Quabbin, the 2-stroke spitting fucking gas and oil everywhere. And I can't put my
fuels.
Brand new 250 in there.
My environmental
because
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's fucking the stupidest concept.
It's insane. It's absolutely bananas. But
here's the other thing, dude. They could have that place is big enough. Almost big enough to where they could have like a fucking MLF or an Elite Series event there 100%. And bring in so much fucking dough.
Yep. Absolutely. They could. 100%. 100%. But who would lose their mind? Well, I don't know, actually, if they would lose their minds. I would say like a lot of those like salmon anglers that go out there and the Laker anglers. They'd be like, what the fuck? But, at the same time, it could be good. It could be good overall.
Fuck right off, Bobby.
It'd be amazing. I would be doing fishy trivia at some local bars if they did those types of events.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
100% with like $100 buy-in. Be like, we're doing a cash prize, X amount payout, done deal. You guys don't worry about pay. It would be so busy. Oh, it'd be so good. But yeah, I think that is a really, really good move. But yeah, Humminbird, dude, I've been like looking at Humminbird for a while. I'm like, if I were to do something, you will probably see me make the move to go with the Mega 360 before I jump into any kind of live scope whatsoever.
I would tell you to do that.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Like, yeah, I use them. Like, they are the perfect fucking duo, dude. Like, cause I see the structure of the 360 and I put the live scope on it.
Yeah.
But dude, if I could only have one, I would pick the 360 in a fucking heartbeat.
It makes sense. Definitely makes sense, man. Well, this is a good segment, man. We got a lot done. You know what I mean? We talked a little bit about science. We spent a little bit of the Brown family money. It was really good. No,
I might need somewhere to stay after I do this purchase. So.
It'll be all right. All you got to do is win a few tournaments, man. Get a nice trophy. You'll be like, Meg will be like, it was worth it. It was worth it.
That's it. I'll talk to her while we're down at the Classic, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is like what she's like all around fishing and stuff." I'm like, I really should do this.
That's going to be fucking cool. Going to the Classic, that's going to be really, really, really cool. We should take a short break and come back in the live. Well, I think, do we have 3 questions or do we have 4? I think we have 4 questions in total.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got 4 questions in total. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. We got more Jigs and Bigs coming up right after this short break. Alrighty, guys, Bobby Roast Beef, and we are here. We got ourselves one hell of an interview segment right here. We're going to be dropping some big news, some shakeups going on in the industry right here. We got one hell of a guest with us. This is a name that you have certainly heard before. Mr. Ryan Parker is joining us. He's in the house tonight with us, and this is great because I got to I feel like you and I, Ryan, at the last Expo in Columbus, like you and I, that was like the first time you and I really got an opportunity to kind of talk, and it hit me right away. I was like, this guy obviously can talk, but number 2 is a wealth of information and will go at length. So we're stoked to have you on here, man. How's things? How you been? Good?
Doing good. Stoked to be here. But yeah, we sat down one time at the table at the expo, and you're like, I need to have you on the show.
Yeah, 100%.
I jumped in mid conversation too with something
it's
Josh
perfect.
was talking about.
I love that. That's what it's all about. And I will say, I have a feeling you're one of these anglers that's really, really calculated, and kind of has has your finger on the pulse of what you're doing. Judging by the array of trophies behind you, I'm going to say you probably know a thing or two and have caught some fish in your life.
I like to pretend I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I have definitely caught some fish, a good handful.
Yep, it's good.
A good handful every tournament. That's what you go for, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I've been doing this for a long time, like both from a competitive aspect, but just in general. I mean. We all started at some point, but as a kid, I had a creek one way, a little pond, kind of behind the school of middle of nowhere, Ohio, where I grew up. And then another 10, 15 minute bike ride. I had one of the more popular bass lakes in the state.
Really?
Was in Indian Lake. If you are aware of Ohio,
I've heard of Indian Lake. Actually, I think it's at the expo. I think there's a few people who mentioned it previously.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually kind of a unique lake to kind of this area of Ohio, and I think Eastern Indiana has some, but they're I call them canal lakes. They were all dug for the Erie Canal system and all the waterway canal systems that were through here. So Indian Lake is, I think it's all man-made, but it's 6 feet deep. It was a swamp in the frontier days. But yeah, that whole thing is 6 feet deep, choke full of vegetation and grass and swampy and crazy. So, but it also has these old stagnant dead canals that branch off of it. And I've learned a lot from that lake that have, taken me all over the country. And
I bet. And in there, I would assume, because it's all man-made, you probably run into a lot of different infrastructure built in there, the unique man-made structure that.
When I say man-made, I mean hand man-made.
Oh wow!
Dug out with shovels and stuff like that. It kind of predated a lot of even steam excavators and stuff.
Oh no, kidding.
Yeah, I grew up seeing pictures around of people with literally shovels and wheelbarrows and pickaxes and stuff.
That makes sense why it would only be 6 foot deep. To be perfectly honest,
nobody wanted to dig it any deeper.
No, they're like this is good enough.
All it needed to do was hold enough water to keep water in the canals that the barges would get walked through by a horse. But yeah, it's kind of like I said, they're kind of unique to just this area.
Yep.
I mean, they fish a lot like a lowland reservoir, but long before I ever heard the term lowland reservoir, I was like, what's a lowland reservoir? And they're like, oh yeah, it's the swamps and stuff in Louisiana. And I was like, but if I pull that up, having never fished there, never been there, never seen a cypress tree, I'm like, that's not.
No ability to relate.
yeah, that doesn't seem right to me. And then, but then I get down there and I get in it and I'm like, oh, this is a lot like where I grew up.
Yep.
6 feet deep. It's just kind of swampy and whatever. They just happen to have trees out here.
Yep. So you've done a lot of fishing, like you've done some traveling. You've been around and experienced that. Is that primarily through tournaments?
Primarily, I spent some time in the military, and so I kind of got like bit with that like traveling bug. I get restless.
Gotcha.
And so I did that. I managed a band for 3 years, so I just traveled the country in a 15-passenger van for a long time. And the drummer and I kept rods like stashed away in the van.
That's awesome.
So we're like, ooh, we're in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Like, man, like the hotel's right on this lake, and there's a marina right here. Like, let's just go fish that, or we'd hop. Hit apartment ponds if they were like within
walking distance or something,
distance to a venue or a hotel we were staying and stuff. So that kind of started it for me, but it was always a bass centric thing. Like when you realize like, oh man, like there's like I can catch a largemouth outside of in a little hotel retention pond in Wyoming. Like, okay, cool. And then you start putting those pins on the map all over.
Yep.
But also when you cruise through all of this country by roadway for 3 years, like I'm making a mental list. I'm making notes on my phone of like rivers I want to go back to, a lake that looked really cool and fishy, or, all across the country. And the list is longer. Like the list of places I want to go, it's always longer than the list of places I've been.
You fished,
because I keep adding stuff to it, and I can't just keep up with it all. But
that's awesome.
Tournaments definitely have driven some of that travel too, and especially with Drew's like kayak adventure series, like some of those places would have never been on my radar if it weren't for his his trail series.
Yeah, it definitely shows in a bit of a showcase on some unique areas where you don't necessarily think like, fishing destination necessarily. Like the Susky is, I think, a gimme. But there are some other spots where just like I had never even considered or heard of is in part of the conversation. And you're just like, it's kind of a cool little spot. Let's talk about your fishing style. Like, how did you develop your fishing style? And how would you describe it actually to start with?
It's kind of interesting. Like I started on the much more kind of finessey side of things. So post military, I get out. I'd always kind of wanted to learn how to fly fish. So I taught myself that, and got involved with that for a while, got back to the conventional stuff just because that was the buddies I had they were all conventional guys. So I kind of got back into it. Picked up the kayak thing basically because I ran out of river to wade. And I was like, well, if I want to go further, I got to get a boat. The conventional stuff really worked out better for that platform. And then they started tournaments, so I kind of filled this competitive side of myself with the tournaments. But it's my fishing style kind of evolved with that, especially the traveling, like breaking down bodies of water very quickly. Like my personality is pretty fast. I'm always going, always into something. Like I don't like to kind of sit around too long. And so that's kind of what evolved my fishing to a much more power fishing kind of side of things. Like I definitely like to move fast and find fish that are active. By just covering a ton of water as quickly as possible. And it suits me. Like I've been learning to kind of slow back down a little bit. Like I put a big focus on that after last year, was just like fishing slow fast. Like once I figure out, okay, here's a big wad of fish here, like take that 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes to maybe slow down and see if there's some maybe still active but less active fish that maybe want to go, or like they group up. They're kind of community creatures, I guess. Like
No, it definitely makes sense.
So, yeah, pick off some more of those, and but yeah, like fast paced is definitely more my style. If I can get bit throwing a moving bait, I'm pretty happy.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, I'm straight braid. Like I very rarely fish anything under an 8-to-1 speed reel. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
It's wild too, because like, you know, I've been saying this since the show really kind of got started. The one thing that I learned early on is that fishing is truly 1 part science to 1 part art. You know?
Yeah.
And there's like, we get questions here all the time from folks. Like there's one that's actually in this show in the live well. It's an Ohio angler that reached out and was asking about bait finesse. And, you know, oh, how should I get started? And I was like, man, there's so much. So I gave my best advice. I was like, this is like what I would suggest is a great place to start. And, you know, here you go. But the reality of it is there's what works best for you is ultimately the way that you're going to fish. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny. Bait finesse I had a really hard time even trying it, like coming around to try it.
Yep. I figured it'd be right up your alley too, with the power fishing mentality. You know,
that's kind of what it became. I was like, well, when you look it up, it's like all these little tiny, you know, they're labeled as these finesse presentations, but what it is like it's a more efficient way to fish small stuff fast. Is that what I
love that, dude? That's yes, that's what I explain to everybody.
Yeah, so like if you don't like to do the spinning rod, you know, wait for a weightless worm to fall 10 feet in the water column, like try this and go back to those same targets along the bank that maybe they're not hitting a full-size spinner bait, but they will hit that little 1/8 ounce like beetle spin type thing or whatever it is, you know, that little stuff. Like this fall, a lot of my fall fishing was done with the like the G-Rat Pistol Pete, which is like about a 6-inch glide bait, and that what's the Rip Baby A-Rig from Bass Dope, the 3.
Oh yeah.
And
I love that bait.
Like those big baits, like man, like if I could get them keyed in and like triggering on those, great. But it was like I know where the fish are at this point. Like I've tracked them all down, but it was like if they won't touch that, you have to go to the far other end of the spectrum, and having that BFS and putting on like a little 3-inch drop shot bait, you know, like minnow, and just twitching it as like a little micro jerk bait. Like they just fire on that thing.
Yeah.
Like they were still completely active.
Definitely.
But they just weren't chasing those bigger baits, you know, and the A-Rig's not big. Like I only had 3-inch swim baits on there, but it's a bigger package. It's more
exactly.
in your face. Like you're calling them
for
to that.
Sure.
That little one.
You got to put it right in front of them with those finesse baits. And I mean, finesse, not there, like not necessarily in technique. It's funny because like I say it all the time. I was like the fly fishing guys, I have not too far from me, I have a world-renowned trout fishery. This river is great. Brookies all over. Those are my first brookies were caught there. Beautiful native fish. It's stocked, so you get browns and you get rainbows.
Hands
in there
down,
as well.
One of my favorite just fish is a brook trout. Like
they're
gorgeous.
They're amazing, especially in the fall when the colors are just popping.
Yeah,
they're so beautiful. But like I'll go and I'll fish on a tiny tungsten jig head, like a 2-inch swim bait, and I'll get to power fish for these trout, and they'll absolutely get my PB. It's so funny you mentioned like a beetle spin style bait. So like mule fishing makes this little micro spinner bait on
the Bronco blade.
I
think right.
The Bronco blade on like a 16th ounce jig head. And you know I caught my PB 24-inch brown trout on that. Like came out right away at the end of a laydown, just hammered this sucker, and I'm like, this is a whole lot of fun, and the efficiency I think is the big thing. But you know, I have this. It's funny you mentioned the Pistol Pete too, because I just picked one of those up, and this year my focus is glide baits. So we'll dive into that, man, because I know you've got experience.
I highly recommend that one. Like I got to fish it quite a bit this fall, and it's like. if you've never fished one and you don't want to like spend money into the resin game and stuff like that, this is like hands down one of the best just ABS glides I've ever fished. Like just to get your foot in the door. It's just under, I think it's one. It's
like an ounce,
and a half,
maybe something like that.
Ounce and a quarter. So it's under an ounce and a half. It's somewhere there, like 1.2, 1.3 ounce.
Yep. No specialized gear.
Yep. You've probably already got a rod that you can throw. I throw it on a heavy spinnerbait rod, like that goes to an ounce and a half, and that's my favorite rod to throw it on.
That's exactly what I plan on throwing mine on. Is exactly like my heavy moving bait rod, and that's the one. But
and that's the thing with this is like I've found is like it will do the slow turn that a lot of glide baits do, but it chops well and it burns really well. It doesn't blow out like a lot of baits do, which is impressive for a glide bait, but especially one that's only about 1.5 inches tall. That's a really difficult thing to accomplish. Like I've dabbled in making essentially what the Pistol Pete is out of resin, and I have not been able to get the ballast and the float right. Like those two forces pulling against each other. I have not fine-tuned it quite right yet. And now I don't have to because this exists. It saves me a bunch of time.
Absolutely. Man.
And which like if you want to listen to like get into some of that, I highly recommend going and listen to like Josh Pallades at Clutch is like crazy about that stuff.
And,
I've been fortunate enough to have some conversations with him. I think in one of the years past at the Columbus Expo, we just got into like the specifics of it. But I've always been that guy. Like I've always been a tinkerer. I've always like wanted to try to figure out how this works or make something better or, create something a little bit new. I think some of that comes from like growing up, my grandma was an artist, so I was always around that creative world. And then I used to tie all my own flies. So like, that was like, I knew this, like I've had that satisfaction of like going out and catching a bunch of fish on something that you like made in your basement over the winter.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
And there's a cool feeling that comes along with that. And, and then, like, I guess through the tournament stuff, I kind of got involved with Dark Horse Tackle, and which is like if the listeners aren't familiar with that, that is an online based tackle shop that specializes in small American businesses, but specifically what they look for. I should say we look for. We look for stuff that is innovative, creative, kind of the best of the best coming out of, the American market, but specifically small American business, which I think is where most of the innovation comes from.
Totally.
Because you don't have rules. When it's just, you and your buddies in the shop or garage or, on that small level, it's you have the flexibility to be creative because you're not bound by just profit driven sales.
Exactly.
Like you can flex that creative muscle, and man, we've found some really, really cool stuff, in the last year and a half or so that I've been involved with it.
And it's cool because that's that art side of it. Like you said, the creative element, there's a science to it all when you're talking about making baits, run a specific way. But that's the thing about Dark Horse that I love is the standard that there is. Cause there's a lot of people out there that make a lot of baits, but they don't always pass the threshold needed.
Like
you know what I mean? Like they might just not be there yet.
Like there is a standard of quality that it has to just meet, and it's not just how cool your colors are and stuff like that. It's
quality construction,
little details, like, flashing on soft plastics, which is, if you're a bait maker, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But it's that little ribbon, that edge on the.
If you've got your mold that sandwiches together, if plastic gets out of the cavity and around the edge of the bait, that's flashing. But just little stuff. I mean, down to I've made plenty of my own hard baits, and I am not the greatest at the clear coat process, but like Josh has taught me so much about the clear coat process because he inspects it, constantly.
He's got eyes on it nonstop.
Yeah. So it's not a big operation, but like the attention to detail and the attention to quality is there across the board. Yeah. And that's like the whole bait shop. That's every subscription box, like everything in there is like, it has to pass the test. One, it has to catch fish. Yeah. Two, it has to pass the quality test, and three, we just have to be able to, come to an agreement with the bait maker to be able to put it in people's hands.
Make it happen. Exactly. No,
right.
That makes sense. And I think that there's also like a cool factor with it, because a lot of the stuff at Dark Horse, like there was one of the old team members, Adam Blomeke, put it the best way. He was, how did he word it? I think he said, he goes, how everybody says, oh, you got to match the hatch. You got to match the hatch. He goes, but also in the same breath, they'll tell you,
well, you got to show them something different.
He's like, what if you used a bait that could do both? And because this stuff is a little bit more boutique, it gives you a little bit of if there is an advantage, it definitely gives you a slight advantage, because that same perch pattern won't be exactly what they've seen a million times. It's so cool.
We've been kind of referring to it as like there's a lot of people that I think are familiar with the JDM stuff, and I think the allure to JDM is
innovation.
That Japan, it's innovative, it's interesting, it's 100%. Creative, because a lot of Japan's shops are small mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
So we've been referring to it as ADM, where the American, but it's the same principle, right? Like we're working with that same level of shop that have that ability to be creative, to be, innovative and take chances.
That's badass.
Because most of this stuff started in somebody's garage in the first place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
figured it out. Somebody was hand carving balsa baits, wherever it was that, and then started selling them or whatever, or made some for his buddies. And
now I have, it's like, we're talking innovation. Actually, before we dive into that, you mentioned before, you're like, oh, now you had a recent change over at Dark Horse. Now, you've been a team member for a lot of years. You've been involved, and folks know you, from like the lives and everything. Like, you've been a part of Dark Horse now, but talk about this new phase.
Here just very recently, I've decided to kind of take my love and my belief in Dark Horse Tackle to like the next level, where I am now part of Dark Horse Tackle. So it is Josh, Zach, and myself.
That's awesome.
So I will always be part of the team, but now I'm part of a decision making team.
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh, I think it's fantastic, and I'll be honest with you, like, it's great to have three folks involved. I couldn't think of having a better third person in the wheel, but this is great because you have better discussions. You can't be at a stalemate so easily. You know what I mean? You've always got another perspective that you can look at, and this is I think is gonna be great, because the one thing about Dark Horse that's great is it drives me nuts when I hear somebody like talk about Dark Horse Tackle as only one of its multiple facets. And I'll give you an example: the subscription box. Oh yeah, Dark Horse Tackle is this really cool subscription box.
That's all?
It's so much, like, it's legitimately like the cool bait shop with the unique stuff.
Yeah.
It's
more than the box started it all.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But it's become so much more. And we're constantly, thinking of ways to build our community of anglers, of bass anglers, people getting into it. We've started with some of the kits and the pack. That's the pack is a monthly subscription, but it's not as overwhelming. Like, if you're new, tackle can be overwhelming. And so maybe you don't need a subscription box with 5, 6, 7 baits in it. That pack with just one specific, like that's the cool thing about the pack is like if you dump that thing out, it's got everything there to fish.
Yep.
Like with that presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, these presentations are curated too. It's not it's not stuff that we're like, oh, this is a cool bait, let's throw it in here for February. It's like, no, we're giving you a thing that will work in February or very near February.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
I can't control the weather. I haven't figured that out yet.
When you do, let me know.
I will. It would not have been 8 degrees for the expo.
Yeah, no, no.
If I knew what I was doing with that yet. Yeah, like it's all curated for like right around the time you're getting that box.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little caveat to that, like winter time. We'd start to cater a little bit more to the southern anglers because they're not frozen.
Yep.
But the way I look at it, to me, a lot of like the winter stuff that's maybe playing a little more in the south, that's like the first stuff I go to. You know, like come pretty soon here because we just had a pretty hefty warm up and some of the rivers have actually opened up quite a bit.
That's great.
So I may be able to start getting out soon. But the other thing that I think flies under the radar here, a little bit of a development of last year, are the kits.
Yeah, the kits are great.
We started putting together these specific like technique kits.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think of what we have with specific ones. Go to the bait shop, down to kits. Like first and foremost, they're like the Rip Baby umbrella kit, the Micro Power XT Koosh Ball, the Ned kit, Underspin, and then we're like even specific things that like the it's way too windy kit. I remember kind of sitting down with those guys and you know having that conversation. Like, well, I think it was Josh that maybe came up. He's like, well, why don't we build kits for the guys that have excuses for why they didn't catch him? You know, so like,
I think that's such a Josh thing to say.
So we're going to put together a kit that's like for like, oh, it's really windy. What do you do?
Yeah.
You know, like increase your weights, you know, go like, you know, so we're kind of working on stuff that's again, creative that not like people aren't doing that. Cause like we all started in this sport at, you know, some point in time.
Yep.
And we had those questions. And before YouTube, before the internet, before, you know, all of that, we didn't have a lot of people to ask.
No, exactly.
You know? So it was a lot of just trial by fire and trial and error, and we'd figured it out.
Yep.
And maybe you'd have one guy at the boat ramp who was nice enough to give you some advice one day.
That was actually solid advice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, we're trying to kind of bring that element back and make it accessible for people really getting into the sport or you know, or that want to, you know, take their angling maybe to another level or just continue their progression within the sport.
Yep.
So that's definitely something cool that that we're working on and continuing to expand.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. One of the other things that comes to mind too, like over the last year, is the perfect pairings.
Yeah.
Like putting those items together when people are just like, what would I use this with? And maybe there's a bait that was released in a box that was like months back. And they're like, this works out so perfect. What was that one craw that goes with the Micro XT?
The bait cave?
Yes.
Or the Koosh craw?
Not the Koosh craw. The one that goes with the
bait cave.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, just badass, like the thoughtfulness that goes together and putting some of these together and the idea of doing a kit for like, you know, questions that people really ask, you know what I mean? It's cold as shit kit, you know, would not be a bad thing. You know, the post frontal kit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got to write that. I'm going to put that up here.
I'm chock full of them.
It down with, but the, you said one, and it's just like I lost the thought. what was it? The kids.
We were talking perfect pairings.
Perfect pairings.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, because like not every trailer is the right trailer for a swim jig or a spinnerbait or a chatterbait or you know.
It's true.
Sorry, bladed jig. Chatterbait is technically trademarked, but
I find a lot of people correcting themselves now. I feel like Z-Man said something at some point.
I mean, they owned it, you know.
They did.
Like,
really totally.
Did. But man, like the patent's up. And there's been a lot of people that have been sitting in the background that have been playing with these and making a better, you know, building a better wheel
for sure.
And like for me, the Deeks Dixon came in a September box, and those guys know. Like I was, as a tournament angler, I like first and foremost is I am catching. Like I need to catch the quality fish that I need to catch, and however that works is how that works. If I can do it, you know, and honestly, I mean, at this point, 90% of my tackle boxes are completely built out of what's available in the bait shop at Dark Horse. This was a hard sell for me because, you know, when you develop confidence in that one bait, it's really,
to put it down
hard.
Yeah.
To tear that Band-Aid off, you know, like, and so Zach he said, try it. Just try it for a day. It was the Deeks bladed jig. I think it came in like September.
Yep.
And this past September, and I tied it on. And within about an hour of throwing it, I said, yep, this is it. This is every bit as good as what I've, you know, as what I've been throwing, what my preference was for, close to 6 or 7 years, you know, like that's at least, you know, I think I've been throwing the same one for, you know, same model, for 6 or 7 years. And that one, it was so good that like, I get done, I get home, and I immediately get on Dark Horse, and I think I bought like $120 worth. Like
that's all. Cool. That says something. That's it's a hard sell.
Like that was like I believe in the stuff that is in that bait shop, like to that degree that like this is what's on my personal stash wall in the garage. That is like I don't ever want this to go away. And like that, so, and I would have never, you know, found that bait had it not come in that subscription box.
Yeah.
And it helped to have a good buddy that twisted my arm.
Could kind of vouch and give you that push. Yeah.
Like, thanks. Because now the Deeks Cheapskate, I think, is in the bait shop for under $7. It's a lot easier to throw a $7 bait into a log jam than a 20, you know, like a $27.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I'll break that one off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
But it's like, it also, it's funny because like fish get conditioned to baits, you know, like you get a handful of seasons and then all of a sudden, you know, that's something that they've seen a million times isn't so appealing, you know? So like you can make these slight variations and everything like that. Yeah. So the Deeks, that's your go-to bladed jig.
Yep.
Mine is
Deeks. I mean, either or the Deeks Dixon or the Deeks Cheapskate.
Mine is also a Dark Horse bladed jig, but it's take a guess.
Can I take a stab?
Take a stab at it.
I'm going for the Motion Seeker. Oh,
it's a shock blade.
Okay.
Oh
Picasso.
My God. I love that thing, man. It's so great. But I'm a Picasso slut. Like I love Picasso.
There's another bait that comes to mind that like I've eyeballed that swing head titanium wire spinner bait a million times.
Dude.
I was like, man, I've got spinner baits that I like. I don't know if I want to spend $18 on a spinner bait. Like,
yeah.
I think it'll get hung up because of the swing head, but I understand that also removes leverage from a fish.
Yeah.
Like, and I never wanted to try it because I didn't think it was going to fish the way I wanted it to, and it came in a box.
Yeah.
came in a subscription box, and I was like, well, now I have it.
Let's try it.
Like, I took it straight to the river, and I threw it in the gnarliest log jam like that I could find, like right out of the rip. And and it pulled right out. And I was like, okay,
I'm
cool.
sold. Yeah.
now I'm going to throw it in the gnarliest bank. We get some like really thick bank grass on our rivers here. That's like, like you can't uproot
You're not ripping out of it.
It may as well be wood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And it came out of that. Like, I was like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, go right back over to the bait shop as soon as those baits hit the shop and they're available for single purchase. I think I bought again like $150 worth of them.
That is awesome, dude.
And with that titanium wire,
mm-hmm.
the only reason I don't have the first one that I got in that box is because I thought I tied it on and I threw it over the side of the boat like you do, and then I realized I didn't tie it on.
Yeah.
And I watched it sink to the bottom of the river.
That's a worst feeling.
But up until that, I got my money's worth out of it.
That's good.
Was I think I caught over 200 smallmouth on one spinnerbait.
Not bad. That's
I never bent the wire back. I never had to retune it. That alone is worth the money.
Yeah. That's the kind of innovation, you know what I mean? That is unbelievable. It's great.
Yeah. And it's like that's again, like this is kind of one of the great things about the subscription boxes, but also having that resource of the subscription box, but knowing like, I can just run back over here. Because if you are a subscriber, you get some subscriber benefits to the bait shop. Say, I like that bait. Let me grab some of those.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I love the fact, like you mentioned the pack earlier. There's, the box is awesome. A lot of anglers, new anglers, love the box because it's a great way to get a bunch of baits at one time and kind of fill your tackle boxes.
Yeah.
So you've got something to go on. I totally understand that. After you've kind of gathered a whole lot, and you're like, I've got a good arsenal of stuff, but I want to keep, in on it. That's where like the pack is awesome. But I think like for the absolute, like you want to be on the pulse of everything, do both. That's like,
because they're not like the pack is not comprised of a couple of the baits out of the box. Like they're two separate entities. Fresh. Like, sometimes there's some overlap, but they are very much two completely separate entities that just, exist on their own. And, like what here we were, man, it was already in the hopper. Like we all watched, what Hank Cherry did on Gunnersville.
Oh yeah. Yeah. With swimming a grub over the top of grass.
Yep. And guess what's in the February pack? A 3-inch grub.
That's awesome, dude.
So the hypertail from Get Bit is a little bit different. It has this little mini boot tail on the very end of the grub tail.
Wait a minute.
It gets like extra wild.
Yeah. I think I've seen these maybe on like Instagram.
Possibly.
Maybe on their Instagram.
There's like an extra little tiny, like it literally looks like a little boot tail on the end of it.
And it's funny you mentioned Hank Cherry and that whole technique, because I feel like there's a lot of plastics makers right now that are just like,
now's my time to shine, baby.
Because that is a OG, like true old school presentation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's so ambiguous in the water. Like it just gets, it can be anything,
Yeah, it's why I love a tube so much. It looks like
when you guys were live, you were talking about that,
and like so Lake Erie, like world-class smallmouth fisheries is a 2-hour drive for me. And I try to get out there a couple times a year, but like, man, those fish are conditioned to drop shots. They're conditioned to Ned rigs now. What they don't see a whole lot of anymore is tubes.
Yes.
And to me, like a 2 3/4 inch tube, it's the same size as the Ned rig, but man, that's to a bass, that's a little bit bigger meal because maybe it's the same length, but a 2 3/4 inch tube,
it's a fatter little bait, and it's going to have more of a unique fall because of the weight of the head. Like it's different than the way a Ned would fall.
rig it and weight the head. Like you can drop shot tubes. If you put the weight on the outside, it does something completely different than if you put the weight on the inside. Yes. It's a phenomenal bait and it's a phenomenal largemouth bait too. Like,
wicked slept on.
Like, it's like,
let's actually talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
Where's your stance on, how you're like, and I almost understand it from the industry, from like the bait makers and everything, like, oh, this is a great smallmouth bait, like smaller bait. Do you genuinely feel like smallmouth require smaller hooks and such and such?
No. Well, hang on. Let me do my best weatherman here. My PB smallmouth is a 22-inch river smallmouth that I caught on a 6-inch mag draft. Like,
so it was eating whatever it wanted
on a freestyle. Yeah. Like it was a six beast hook. Like, it wasn't a small hook. It wasn't a small bait. And when I put that fish in the boat, I couldn't see the bait. Like the whole thing was in its throat. Yeah. And I've caught 15-inch smallmouth. Same thing.
I was just going to say, this summer I caught a 16 on a 6-inch mag draft.
Yeah.
Not a giant fish at all.
Yeah. I started years ago. I was fishing like a local river here. We have a lot of gizzard shad in our river systems because of the reservoirs and the dam system.
Yep.
And man, I got on a good bite, but like every fish had like 5-inch shad down there, like just sticking out of their throat.
Really?
I remember catching like a 15 that spit up like 3 5-inch shad, had another one like in his gullet. And I was like, well, that fish had 4 5-inch shad in its mouth. Like,
that's insane.
When it ate my bait.
Yeah.
When it ate my bait. I was like, and that kind of just changed my mind on what they will do or eat. What I have found is sometimes, I don't know if they like do that cat thing where they just kind of play with it or try and stun it first. A lot of times I have watched them like come up and just mouth the tail and back off. I've watched them, hit it closed mouth. I watch them do that to topwater a lot. And I think that is a stunning technique. And then because usually there's like one that will come back around, or that like the same fish will come back around, or one that was falling will then eat it. But I have found with the bigger soft swim baits, like if they're hitting it and they don't get it the first time, they will keep hitting it until they do get it.
Yeah.
And it's just something I've noticed.
Yeah,
unless
they're committed to it.
There's like the post spawn.
Yep.
Is the one time where they tend to hit things a lot closed mouth just to get them away from the fry, get them away from what they're actually protecting.
Yep.
And I noticed that a lot. But man, if you want to learn where they're at in the post spawn, throw a big bait, because they are very reactive to them.
That's good to know. That's my target. That's what I'm into this year is more of the big stuff. Well, I say big stuff like glides specifically.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning toward like the, the 6-7 inch stuff to like more of like the Pistol Pete. And then I even have some bait finesse stuff. Primarily to do the specific job, but
that like really like the pre-through post spawn is
the money.
Just a phenomenal glide bait time.
Yeah,
because they're so defensive of like those bigger presences around the fry, around the beds and stuff. Like if you kind of know an area, I've had days. Bed fishing for largemouth. I can't see the beds. I know where they bed in certain, flats and bays and stuff that like, I've gone out with, you can't go like too big on it, but I'll go out with like those 6-inch glides because you can they're light enough and you can cast them accurately enough, far enough and accurately enough that you can put them like right up on the bank. And it's like within like just 2 pops of that thing, it gets out over smoked. A real shallow bed.
Yep.
And it just gets smoked. And I kind of figured that out in a clear water place. And I pull up there. I was like, man, it seems early for them to be on beds. And sure enough, there's beds right where I caught a bunch of fish. And I was like, no, they're reacting to this bait just coming right into the bed. But you can you don't have to sit there and shake something. It's probably the fastest I've ever moved largemouth off a bed.
That's pretty good. That's saying something,
which
too.
is an interesting thing because, like, normally you got to work them a lot harder than smallmouth. Smallmouth, you get in there and it's, it doesn't take a whole lot of work. But, and then again, all the way through that post spawn when they're fry garden, they do not like those bigger presences near the fry.
Definitely.
So they tend to be pretty aggressive towards them.
No, I think you're 100% right, man. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it all goes. It's ARC actually had reached out to me about testing some gear, and I'm in the lineup of my rod and reel arsenal. I have this one little spot for like my moving bait presentations. Yeah, where I go with a slightly lighter combo for like and I figure like my Wicked Confidence baits are like soft plastic swim baits, stuff like that. Like I love covering water with stuff like that. And this stuff just gets munched. But this is for my heavier rod. Like that Pistol Pete's going to be tied on for a good chunk of it. My swim bait combo, I'm going to be replacing that as well with a different arc line. And I was like, I'm going to be putting a lot of work in it. I was like, you guys want me to make some content with this stuff? I was like, this is in the wheelhouse of where I'm focusing and where I'm wicked confident.
Yeah.
So it'll work out really nice, but
it's I've got my work. I might be moving to a couple cash-ins, I think, this year.
I love cash-in. I only have one, but I love it. It's my big swim bait rod, like my heavy. They make that, like, for me, I throw a lot of just straight 30-pound braid. Mm-hmm. That's my go-to line. I'm not clear water, dirty water. Like I throw a straight 30-pound in 6+ foot of clarity a lot of times. Like, I'm not asking for every fish to bite. But man, like the ones that are gonna, and it's usually the bigger fish, like all you got to do is get it around them. They're a little more territorial, I've found. So they just, if you put something, in their space, whether or not they're necessarily active or not, they get reactive. Whether that's eating they're invading
or not, or just getting out of there. Like they got big for a reason. It's either by being, just keeping other stuff out of their space so that they can have that prime location to eat and live and feed, or, they got out of the way. And figured it out elsewhere. But I'm not a huge believer in the whole like clear line things. There are instances, and I think it's more of a pressure driven thing than an actual water clarity thing. A lot of times to me, I fish some gravel pits like that are like a public park outside of the city, and years ago, I could get away with straight braid. When not a lot of people fished them. They're not big places, but now a lot of people get out, like as kayaking has gotten a lot more popular and the fishing and stuff. And like you do a lot better with a little bit clearer or lighter line. Like I can drop down to like 8-pound braid and do that.
I think there's that carries a lot of pun intended weight, because like that line diameter is adding to what you're putting in the water to displace, right? And like
it's funny. I think water displacements. Like I think when people hear that, they think of blades and movement and flapping.
Yes.
Like size. Like what actually displaces water is just the
mass.
It's the volume of the bait. I swear I have like. It's funny. I have like the instructional glide bait. I call it, like on the lives and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I usually have one sitting here, but it's like a 6-inch bait displaces more. It might be a more subtle action bait.
Yep.
But it displaces a ton more water than like, a
half-ounce bladed jig.
A little inch and a half crankbait.
Yep. Exactly.
So it's like water displacement is such a. I think the size thing gets overlooked to vibration. Like I think when people think about that, and which is kind of what drove me to this line thing, is like I was reading like a biological study, and they're like, yeah, like a fish knows the lines there, whether they can see it or not, because their lateral line is that sensitive.
Yeah, it'll detect that
Right.
it's in the water.
Yeah, so they can feel your line, whether they can see it or not. So they already know it's there. So to me, it's never really necessarily a deterrent of them biting or not. Because again, they're certainly aware. If they're aware of your line, they're certainly aware of your bait.
Yes. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's why, in that dirty water, that's why the displacement is more important than, than that, like the color, honestly, like contrast color, like that, like, we all know it, but like, man, I've had weird days where like in straight chocolate milk water, like for whatever reason, I think it was like I had a bait that was just green pumpkin, like not a great color to throw in less than 2 inches of visibility.
Exactly.
They found it.
Yeah.
They found it. It displaced a lot more water than what I had. And it was the only thing I had in the boat. And I was like, well, it's going to move more water. So I'm just going to throw it and see how it goes. And sure enough, it worked. They can find it just fine.
Oh, yeah.
It takes them a little longer in that dirtier stuff because they're, it's, if you wake up in the middle of the night and the power's out, it takes you longer to get down the hallway and down the stairs than it does, in the daytime.
For sure.
Right. Like that's the analogy I like to use. Yeah. Like even if you're familiar with where you're at, it takes you just a little bit longer to feel that out in the dark. So when you're not, when they're not relying on all of their senses and they're relying heavily on that lateral line, let it sit in there a little bit longer.
Yep. No, 100% makes sense. Like that's one of the things I think that we kind of forget, people, they give fish like these lives that they don't really have. Yeah. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Like there's no little fish house with a wife and kids and shit.
Right.
Like, but the thing is we forget that they have that sense of that lateral line and exactly what that can pick up. And like,
it's a huge thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it plays a role. Like when you throw like those, like a big single Colorado blade spinnerbait or something like that vibration, that's going to get picked up. All these little details are there. I mean, they're just fish. Their brains are only so big, but they really they are a lot for those little brains. Like no, they don't, But it's just crazy.
Appealing to their senses is like, like if I were to challenge anyone to do anything, like go out and just assume a fish is blind.
Yeah.
Just assume it's blind and just focus on appealing to their lateral line, no matter the water clarity, well, I guess let the water clarity kind of dictate that, right?
Yeah,
but you're only appealing to that one sense, right? Yeah. And it becomes an interesting exercise, I think, to go about it that way, because there's a lot of baits, like interesting baits that do a lot more than you think they do.
Yeah.
Or do a lot less than you think they do. That was one of those actually comes to mind just I haven't fished it in dirty water yet, but I'm kind of really excited to because it's a subtle bait. The Magnum Wormser.
I haven't fooled around with it. Is that?
It is. It's a phenomenal like shaky head Nico worm on a Nico rig.
Worms
if you rig that up, like it has that little scoop in it, right? So if you put that on an EWG, it kind of acts a little bit like a hook slot, but it's a very rounded scoop.
Oh yes,
Nico rig.
I see exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
So that scoop, I was like fishing just a hump that I've fished a million times before for years and years and years.
Yep.
And I threw that out there, let it sink down. I had it Nico rigged, and I was like, man, like I've fished this a lot, but I've never felt this, And I was like, what the hell am I feeling? What the hell am I feeling? And it wasn't until I started motoring off of that spot and the worm was hanging in the water, and I saw it just start vibrating, like rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
And I realized every time I gave that a sharp pull off the bottom,
Yep.
the worm itself vibrated because that scoop catches the water.
It would just shake. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd figured that out. And the next time I took it out, I was fishing a little bit dirtier water.
Mhm.
Like we didn't get much rain this summer again. And it cleared up, stayed pretty clear, but I was still fishing. Like I think like a 16-foot deep, just little high spot in a big deep river hole. And I threw that out there, and I would just give it these little sharp rips, just enough to get it to vibrate and let it sit back down. And sure enough, like saw guy, walleye, smallmouth, like everything in the river was eating it.
No kidding.
But it was just something I was like, wow, like that's a worm that has a lot of power, a lot deeper and in a lot dirtier water. One, it's, and he makes those up to, I think, a 12-inch worms is the biggest he makes.
Magnums are they're it's an 11.5.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah. His whole like thought process is like
go big.
It's the big swim. He comes from the big swim bait world, but he took that to soft plastics, like outside of the swim bait world. What if I make, an 11.5-inch Nico worm?
We had Dan on the show. Like initially when I stumbled across the beef craw, I was like, dude, because I was applying something that I had kind of gotten hip to a few years ago with swim bait trailers to flipping jigs, essentially flipping wood, and it paid off. I mean, my PB came off of that combo, and I was just like, there's something about this. And when I throw that combo, it's generally larger size fish. But when we had him on, he was talking about, was it maybe a stick bait that they make? It was some type of a worm that has a big like following in the muskie community. Like people in the muskie community love it.
It's the 10-inch just stick worm.
Stick bait.
Like,
I think.
His reg stick. He makes like a 10-inch.
That's what it is. The reg stick. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I've talked to him about this too.
Yeah,
I remember him bringing that up. But like, one of the allures of the big swim bait stuff, the glide bait. Big swim bait stuff is the drawing power.
Oh, definitely.
And that's something I learned, talking with Josh from Clutch, because he has that 16-inch glide that they made, and he's like, he throws it not to catch fish.
Oh yeah,
but he's told me he's like, dude, I've had fish like come up and hit that thing, but he said I can throw that up and parallel a dock. Lake of the Ozarks. And he said, I've drawn like a dozen fish out from underneath a dock with it. And they just follow it.
Yeah.
It's like the drawing power of those big baits is kind of unreal.
Yeah.
I love that, like that 6 to 8 inch realm of those is that high. To me, that's the ratio is a lot more equal to the draw to strike ratio.
Yeah.
I think when you go bigger, you're asking for the bites that you're going to get usually.
Yeah.
There are days that surprise the heck out of you, and you'll have a 10-inch bass hit a 10-inch glide bait. It's crazy, like what they think they can eat.
Definitely.
But and those are, like if you're doing that, there's a mindset you have to get into that. Like I do musky fish from time to time.
Yep.
And it's musky fishing is hunting,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially if you're very much like casting. Like casting for muskie is very much, you've got to believe that those high probability areas have a fish in them, and that you can get them to come out and eat your bait.
Yeah.
But you really do put yourself in a different mindset than if I just went out and threw a square bill down, through laydowns all day.
Definitely.
But that's I've always liked kind of Mike Gilbert's like philosophies on swim bait fishing out west. That's Working Class Zero. But yeah, like I think I've read some interviews or some stuff he's written that's like, he's like, no, I go out and throw normal baits too. I just don't record all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like, like you lose your mind if all you did was throw swim baits.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. We all like to catch fish, and you're not going to do that throwing baits that big all the time.
That's exactly it. That's, and I did this, we did a segment. I've been doing research and I've been looking for tips, and this, we've had big swim bait fishermen on the show multiple times, and they all say the same thing. You got to take it out, and that's the only thing you bring. And I've done that. I've done that with kind of baits that I'm more comfortable with. And those are like big wake baits, big rats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like real heavy stuff. And, I've had great days on it, and it's awesome. When it comes to, that's why glide specifically, I'm just like, man, I have I had a handful and like an S waiver and stuff like that. I would, my plan is to just kind of make sure every trip I throw it. And that's why I want to be comfortable with like a variety of profile sizes. So if they're hitting on, smaller stuff, I can then target that a little bit more and say, like, let's see what we can put together with this in that, matching size. So,
well, I think that's like the interesting thing though, with Magnum, it's like taking the big bait world into like almost more of a finesse presentation with it. Which is like, to me, it's like an interesting little void that existed that doesn't exist anymore. Because it's like, oh man, now I can scale down from a 10-inch glide bait to an 8-inch red.
Exactly.
Like, it's still a big bait, but it's not.
It's way more subtle.
Or
it's
like
way more subtle.
Wise, it's way more subtle
and way
it's
more
still
natural
big.
too.
Yeah, right.
So
it's an interesting, knocking my camera all around. So it's an interesting like step that I'm still exploring to see where it fits maybe for me. And I think that's more it. Where does it fit for my fishing?
No, for sure.
I like to play with everything. Like I've got some of the urchin baits out in the garage and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I'm going to try the traditional riggings with those, but like I've got some ideas with those that might get a little wild.
You gotta toy around with that stuff though, because that's where innovation comes from,
Yeah,
and especially with Dark Horse. Think about
that's
you share
that's what it is.
A Ryan Parker original rigging, as a tip on the new digital insert on the boxes.
We're gonna be all that's like we're working.
I'm giving away solid gold ideas here for Dark Horse tackle.
The digital brochure is going to be awesome. It's going to be like super interactive. Poor Zach has been battling.
He's busting his ass.
The coding with battling back and forth the coding with that for days.
Yeah.
Like this entire last week has been like just taxing and well, what can we take off your plate so like you can just focus on this?
Yeah, for sure.
You're the only one who can do it. But it's going to be cool. Like I think everyone's going to have to. We're all on this ride together.
Definitely.
It might be a little bit of a bumpy start, but like what we're building with that's going to be super cool. I'm very excited about what's to come with. That new digital brochure. I don't even want to call it the brochure.
Yeah,
it's like it's more interactive and cool than that.
Of course.
And of course it's like we looked at it as like, oh, we can save, $120 or whatever per box, but we're using that to be able to
engage,
make sure that we can continue putting the best baits in the box.
Exactly. It's for the best
always
reasons.
Like top priority is like, it gives us a little bit more wiggle room to get that, get something out cool into the box.
Yeah. It buys you more real estate in the box.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. But also at the same time, the engagement possibilities are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like just, you open up that box, there can be so much that can be. I'm stoked. I have a feeling maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. I was like, shit, I don't think anybody's talked about this yet. But there's been polls on Instagram and stuff and things like that.
It is indeed happening.
Yep.
We've gone that route. And it's I don't want to speak out of turn, but
I know what you're saying, man. I'm sorry. There. I'm putting you in a weird spot.
We've all seen it. Like we've all seen it so close. And then it's like, something isn't lined up right. And then you go to change it and then it just scrambles the whole thing. And it's like,
dude,
man, back to the drawing board.
I know you guys have that's standard, not just for the baits that you carry.
Oh, it's everything.
But it's everything, dude. And it's like, I see this.
Yeah, it's
like, I'm like, this is why I love Dark Horse. Like they are fucking
every single thing I have been learning very quickly. Every single thing that anyone does has to pass everyone else's standard of quality.
Yep.
And I think that's important because that keeps the standard of quality very high.
100%. Try harder. That's what I say.
Yeah. That's it. Like I don't know. I tell my kid that all the time, that Yoda thing. He's like, there is no try.
Only do.
There's no try. Yeah. Only do. And then the other thing I tell him is which is kind of in this same vein. I'm like, well, if you can't do it right, what do you have to do? He's like, I have to do it again. Like, do it right the first time. Otherwise, you got to do it again.
Yeah. Figure out is it worth it to you?
Yeah. Yep.
Man, that's crazy. Ryan, this was awesome. Dude, this is really, really, really good. We gotta have you on again for sure. Maybe even maybe even routinely. I'd love to have you on and have you guest host with Joe and I sometime. If we could work that out, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm a talker, man.
Yeah. And it's like, you got a lot of good experience, man, to draw from. And you mentioned Kayak Adventure Series. I know you're going out this season, right?
Yeah. I'm going for the whole actually, there's a little bit more like kind of dark horse news. Zach, who has never really tournament fished, he wants to make a little run at it this year.
Yes,
so
he does.
Okay. Well, I kind of checked with my teammates from past years, and Brian was going to take it a little easy this year, although he might not now. Then Steve was making a run with Russ, so I said, okay, Zach, like if you want to do this, we'll do Team Dark Horse, and you're along for the ride, but get ready.
I've been standing tournament director over Zach just for like this maybe even the year before, maybe the last couple of years. And for the jigs and big stuff, like the slot tournaments he gets into and stuff. And I think he did the multi-species scavenger hunt once or twice.
Yep.
And he gets it. Like he's awesome, man.
I fished with him quite a bit this past year. Mm-hmm. He was really, really after a 20-inch river smallmouth.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
While we fell short of the goal, but I had the opportunity to fish with him a lot, and I could tell that he can put himself in the right mindset.
Yep.
To do well, I think to really like lock himself into.
Yep, and stay dialed.
Yeah, well, it's like locking there's so like. You're opening another can of worms here, man. Like lock himself into a winning pattern, right? Like
gotcha.
It's hard to break away from just catching fish, to only catching. Like you're going to go a lot further between those bites, but catching the right fish to give it a run.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of planning. You got to put yourself in the right place first and foremost, but to keep yourself in that mindset for 8 straight hours a day.
Oh yeah.
Is difficult. I've watched a lot of people over the years of my tournament fishing. I've been in those shoes. Like it's something I kind of had to figure out on my own was like, it's like, I think I heard Gerald Swindle talk about it. He was like, yeah, if it's not working for me where I'm at, he's like, I fire up pull up the trolling motor, fire up the big motor, and I eat a sandwich and go to another spot. And he's like, he emphasizes, I eat a sandwich.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about this actually.
He's like getting hangry. And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally get hangry on tournament days because I don't pack any food with me, And so then I started packing an actual lunch or more than just a Cliff Bar. It makes a difference, but because it allows your mind to focus on what it's supposed to focus on and not that you're hungry. Yeah, but exactly. Little things like that, it all.
Maybe that's why I'm tanking.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll keep that part brief. That's a discussion, a bigger discussion.
Oh, for sure it is. For sure it is, man.
Yeah, there's so much more than just going on the water. But yeah, I've watched guys fail by 10 a.m. Yeah, they're gone. Their mind's not in it anymore.
Yeah, I never even considered that, man. It's crazy. It's nuts. I have since I've gotten a boat. I'm better about having a cooler with plenty of water and shit like that to kind of at least keep myself hydrated. I'll bring some jerky or something like that. But I never even considered it because normally at the end of a day, a really, good or bad, we're going out for barbecue or whatever. We're celebrating the day, for whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And damn.
That's I built an internal cooler in the back half of my black pack, in the kayak, just so I can, because I could never find a good spot to put the cooler, and I was like, I don't bring that.
That's a wicked challenge.
Anyway. You know what? I'm gonna just build one inside of here, and so I built a little micro. We'll call it my micro Yeti cooler. That's just a permanent fixture inside my black pack, so I can throw some ice in there and just throw. I try to not eat trash on the water. I try. It's hard, but this at least allows me an avenue to help facilitate not eating trash on the water.
That which is fair. And also there's nothing worse than having more packaging than you need while you're on the water. So if you're eating stuff out of prepackaged stuff, it's just one more thing. You want to keep track of everything. So
right. Yeah, it's you try to put it someplace, stash it away, but that gust of wind that's
exactly it. And then
blows it out of the boat. And
when you're competing, now you're thinking about the a-hole that you are, because of what happened.
Right. Yeah. Well,
it takes you out of your mindset.
How many casts could you have made? While you're over here fishing out the Ziploc bag from your sand, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That can totally spin you out. Just little details.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. Efficiencies.
I'm learning so much.
Efficiency on the water is that's going to be, I think, Zach's biggest lesson this year.
Learn,
and it's not just on the water, it's off the everything. There's so much purpose to it. We've been talking the KAS Florida stuff, and I've been game planning with him, and I was like, spot one that we're going to check. I said, we're not even packing rods. You're going to go left. I'll go right. We'll pick a central boat ramp. We're going to just look we'll try to plan it for the sunniest part of a day where we can just
get
motor
eyes
quickly. Yeah. Look with the polarized glasses, and then we can cover an entire lake in an hour and then load up and go someplace else,
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know. Awesome. You do these destination trips and you hook fish, and you drove all that way and you want to catch fish, and it's hard, but it's you have to remember, hey, if you're seriously trying to compete, you can't be putting hooks in fish's faces. If you want to do that, just choose a body of water that you're not going to fish for the tournament, and just absolutely whack the heck out of it.
Yep.
But as a competitor, you don't want to. We all want to catch a 10-pounder, but man, there's times that you don't really want to do that in practice. You'd rather have that fish.
Oh, definitely. You don't want it turned off, so it's not going to eat, when you need it to.
Right.
It totally makes sense. Yeah.
You just want to know where he lives so that you can confidently spend an hour there, because that's a difference maker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that whole mentality thing. the other thing, I remember reading an interview with Rick Clunn where he said that it's not the first. He said, like, a lot of guys put so much weight on the first couple hours of the tournament. He said the last 2 hours of a tournament,
the most critical,
where people win or lose.
Yeah.
Because if you're just not in it mentally, like I think there's a weird bite window that happens in that somewhere within like that noon to 3 p.m.
I can see that.
There is a big fish bite window.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the right place at the right time and you're still ready for it, you can capitalize on some of those bites. But there's a lot of lakes I've been to that I'll have the morning bite.
Mm-hmm.
They're always that low light bite, right? They like that. It's advantageous for them.
Yep.
But I think there is something with big fish and pressure, that like fishing pressure, that they just know, like, man, a lot of people just get off the water in the afternoon. There's a lot more wreck boaters out. It's not as, peaceful for the anglers.
Yeah.
Chases it's them hot off in the middle of the day. It's, dinner's right around the corner or things like that. Like, people get off the water in like that late afternoon time. And I think those big fish in a lot of places kind of know it.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
Just I've caught some of the biggest, especially largemouth, some of the biggest largemouth I've ever caught have all been in that last little, that late afternoon window. I've had tournament placements where it was, I had one, I have a second place finish that I had 4 fish for 7.5 hours of a tournament. And of those 4 fish I caught within the first 45 minutes. And then I went the entire rest of the tournament day without number 5. The last half hour, I moved myself from like 20 something to second.
That's insane.
And the buddy I launched with, he had gotten off the water an hour early.
Yeah,
because it was just
he was just going through it.
I said, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out. I think I can at least get number 5.
Yeah,
and I ended up calling almost every single one of my fish in the last 30 minutes, which is nothing but big ones.
And
it
definitely goes to like what you were saying earlier about like setting yourself up and being like prepared, giving yourself an opportunity to have your brain in order, because first 45 minutes. You're, 80% of the way there, and then you go through the rest of the day grinding and not putting that 5th fish in. And then, so like if you haven't spun out by then and you haven't at least taken the time to like take care of yourself, you know what I mean? You're not like your mental capacity is not like, oh, this next 30 minutes or this next hour is super critical. You're like, I'm out,
Yeah, it's like, and that's what I remember that interview with Rick Clunn. Like when he said that, I was like, he's like, people lose in the last
2 fucking hours.
Because if you're checked out by then, like, you're not gonna get that kicker fish anymore. You're not gonna keep experimenting and figuring it out. You know,
your confidence has been hit so much. That shaking that's tough.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I've
been there, man. Yeah.
I mean, that was that was one of, like, to date, that's one of the roughest. Just I think tournament days. Like I can't think of many days where I'd gone almost 7 hours without a bite. Like it was. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
But then for like. Tough. One fish turned it around. Like the second I got bit, that late in the day, I said, it's happening.
Yeah.
I remember it. I was like, okay, they're not in the grass. They're on the inside edge. They're facing that way. They're eating bluegills that are up, like bedded up.
And you start to be able to put the pieces together.
Yeah. Like just that one fish, like, told me everything. And I was like, okay, it all makes sense now. And I ran one little 20-yard stretch of bank and absolutely destroyed them.
That's insane.
But like if I was thinking about the birds or what I'm going to get at the pizza place,
it would totally be
like you're just you're not thinking about the inside edge of the grass and this is what's going on and this is why the fish are there. And, this is
you've
how they're
already
facing.
moved on and you're like, they're not biting this. Let's hope,
Yeah.
It's true, man.
So just like being able to dissect that as quickly as as quickly as you can take that last 30 minutes and make it a big move like that. But so
dude, that is intense, man. That is intense stuff. I love this. This is great. Yeah, we got to have you on again soon.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, before we take off, let the listeners know if they want to connect with you, like where on social media they should follow you, anything like that, if they have any questions.
Yeah, the best place to follow me on social media is Instagram. That's Parker Fishing 1242. I have a horribly common name. So there's got to be numbers involved. But yeah, Parker Fishing 1242 on Instagram. And then as always, just check out, darkhorsetackle.com, the lives every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm almost always on those lives and talking about something and, not just Dark Horse related, I'm there to provide a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I try to target something that's specifically maybe happening in all of our orbit and try to keep it relevant and on a weekly basis.
It's badass. There's a lot of good nuggets of info there. It's pretty good. And the three of you guys, the chemistry you have together on those lives is great. Like I left trivia Thursday night and I was like, oh, that's right, they're on. I'm like, this is like fucking Seinfeld in the 90s. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm driving home listening to it and I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, tubes are underrated. Holy shit.
Three very different personalities that somehow just work well.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I love it. Well, dude, Ryan, this is absolutely awesome, man. We're going to have you on soon, man. I appreciate it. What I'll do is this. Send me just a picture of you just holding the tank, and we'll use that on the cover art for this. And then I'll tag you in all that, and I'm probably going to bring you in as a collaborator on some of the reels, some of the stuff that I cut and put together from this. And I'll put you on this way we get it out in front of as many people as possible. It'd be awesome, dude. Awesome.
Yeah,
well, hey,
dig it, man.
Congrats on the new position with Dark Horse, man.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Stoked about it.
This is huge, dude. Awesome. Well, guys, we will see you coming up with the live well right after this.
With Venmo Stash, a toggle on one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. With Venmo Stash, get up to 5% cash back when you pick a bundle of your favorite brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
TaxAct understands you haven't memorized the tax code. That's why TaxAct has live experts to help. TaxAct can even do it for you if you prefer. It's the easiest way to know you're doing it right. Well, other than going back to college and obtaining a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance, then interning somewhere and becoming fluent in all tax forms. But that might be hard to accomplish before tax day. So maybe just stick with TaxAct. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
And we got them. Oh, we got them. These are burning questions. These are questions that are not only burning, but they are itching and burning. Like the mistake you made at that bachelor. Oh, anyway. Did the dog just take your headphones and pull your head down? Ow. Oh, Draco.
Oh, fucking dog.
Fucking animals.
Oh, it's one of those. Friday the 13th, Bobby. Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th as we record this motherfucker. But we got 4 different live wall submissions. 1 via text, 3 phone calls, 2 from Eli. Let's go ahead and jump in. And this is a meaty one right here. I believe this first call from Eli is significant and required me to take some notes.
Hey, it's Eli with a question for the live wall. So I just got 2 poppers from Kevin over at Biohazard Bassin, Woodleaf Customs. And I know In the Dark Horse boxes, a lot of times we'll get baits from Black Label, from Cliff Pace that are balsa. And then you also get resin, glide baits, and then just the regular ABS plastic. I know ABS is probably the most common, people are throwing the most, but is there a reason that maybe you would want a balsa crankbait or a resin glide bait or even a wood one beyond just maybe the aesthetic of it or something like that? Is there a reason why you might want a different material than another for a different type of bait? And then I guess, do you have a breakdown for that and different types of baits? And is there other materials that people are using? I know soft plastics, that's a whole different game, especially with like a Chegan going like silicone baits versus like a Lastec with Z-Man and stuff like that. That's a whole different ballgame. But what are your thoughts on the different materials used for hard baits?
So, like I said, I did a little bit of homework on this to come up with some ideas, Eli, and figure it out. And you kind of hit like the big three: plastic, resin, and wood. Those are like when it comes to hard baits. And you're right, soft plastics are a totally different thing, and we could probably cover that in another segment at some point. But generally speaking, the short answer is like, yes, there's a difference, but it's only if you really know why you're throwing it. And there's three main hard bait materials: plastic, resin, and wood, like we said. Each one of them is going to shine in different situations. So for plastic hard baits, they're the most mass produced: cranks, jerks, lipless, all that stuff. And they're super consistent because of that mass produced, usually like injection molding, I believe. And every bait is going to run the same. It's generally fairly durable, and it's really precise. You open up one out of the package and you know it's going to run like the one that did beforehand. Every bait should run the same, and that makes it really predictable. They're best for covering water, really good for tournaments because of that reliability or that predictability, like knowing that it's going to run a specific way. Great in cold water for reaction bites. It's a situation you're going to use plastic when you're like, I need this bait to do the same thing in every cast. Now, with resin, that's a whole lot more common in the world of glide baits and swim baits. It allows for like more custom sink rates and a more natural kind of movement. It's a slightly different feel too than plastic. It's almost like it's more alive. It's best for clear water or pressured fish. When you're targeting big bites, lots of times that's why people are throwing those big glides and swim baits. And this is, think about it like this. You're going to throw resin when you want control, but you still want some life in the bait, like some of its, I think like its own personality, like that. And then for wood, that's the most old school. Balsa, cedar, it's extremely buoyant. It's erratic and unpredictable. Each bait can be a little bit different, depending on the piece of wood that it was from, the materials, the method that it was made. There's some stuff there. You want to use those. They're most commonly used, I should say, like in shallow cover, post frontal, or high pressure. And you want to keep that in mind when you're like, this thing might do something that's weird. And that's why it works. So when you think of the different materials and you're thinking plastic, think like efficiency, mass produced, easy, reliable, predictable, super efficient. Resin, more control. And with wood, chaos. And sometimes it's that chaos that gets bit. So ultimately what I'm saying is this: if you break off a plastic bait, you know what I mean? You break off a Vision 110. Okay. Or a Husky jerk, or, what have you, a rattle trap, you can open another one of the same color and know it's pretty much going to do about the same thing. When you break off that wooden bait from Biohazard Bassin, from Kevin, the handmade bait, you might be fucked because there might be something about that about that wooden bait, that one specific piece of wood, the craftsmanship that went into it, the resources alone. Maybe that piece of wood wasn't sealed the right way and it took on a little bit of water and that made it kind of run a little bit odd, but maybe that was working for you. You know what I mean? That next wooden bait might not necessarily be exactly the one. So I would say like I looked into a couple of things. That's kind of like the best I could come up with to describe it. Now, Joe, having so much more experience, specifically like in the tackle world, I think the obvious is, you know, I mean, with plastic baits, it's the cheapest to mass produce. You know, the labor is less.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah. The plastic. I mean, if you want to look at a cost analysis standpoint, don't forget. There's a reason why the wood and the balsa stuff, the wood and the balsa stuff are the OG of fishing lures.
Oh,
that's where fishing lures came from before plastic was even a fucking thing. Each one may swim a little bit different than the other. Bobby put it pretty good. It's just like organized chaos or controlled chaos for each one of those baits. And they're, you know, they can. I wouldn't say they can mass produce. They can mass produce them now with technology that we have in machinery and whatnot, but that wasn't always the case, and that's why your wood baits and your balsa baits are a little bit more sought after again, because they're kind of like coming. They're kind of getting popular again, or that's why they're just a little bit more expensive. When it comes to the resin stuff is very intricate. The resin stuff can be very intricate, and that's why your high-end swim baits, or even your mid-end swim baits, glide baits, they can be tweaked and tuned, fine-tuned a little bit better. You can the concept of them being they can be kind of mass-produced in a way, but they're just much more fine-tuned than a mass-produced plastic bait.
Yep.
When you get to the mass-produced plastic baits, Bobby nailed it. They're much more predictable. You lose a Vision 110, and you take another one out of the box that's the same color. It's going to do the same exact fucking thing that the last one did. So will a swim bait, a resin like let's say a Clutch Eco swim bait, but there's just a lot more intricacy. And there is a lot more parts involved and a lot more labor involved to get those to the point that you need them to be to swim and fish the way that you want them to fish. And it comes down to the capitalism, man. It's plastics, mass produce them, more money in your pocket. Balsa baits, balsa, nothing beats a balsa crankbait. Nothing beats a balsa crankbait. I don't care what anyone says. Yep. Nothing beats a balsa crankbait. They're just erratic. They are
super buoyant.
Yep. They're awesome. And they're not. If you want suspending crankbait, balsa's not for you. Yeah. I mean, even like wood poppers, plugs, walking baits, dude, they're going for, especially the vintage ones, they're going for stupid money. It's crazy. All you know, and it's the craftsmanship. It's the time it took, people's blood, sweat, and tears to make that friggin' bait. Those vintage ones are all handmade.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even like the one Bobby's holding, it's mass produced to an extent, but it's still essentially machined or even handmade, just maybe over in like China or something now. But
this is a black label. This is the Peanut right here, and this is a balsa one. You can get it over at Dark Horse Tackle right now. I know that Eli, and I'm holding this one specifically because I know that Eli is familiar with it, but. The one thing I wanted to mention is that like this, it doesn't have a whole lot for. Oh, hold on, it's silent, right?
Yeah.
Your balls, your wooden baits are typically going to be the ones that are more quiet. You know, even if they manage to put like a rattle in there somehow, because of the nature of the wood, it's not going to have the same kind of sound.
It's harder
as
to
plastic.
seal.
You know,
it's harder to seal too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Label. This is. I can't wait to throw this sucker. Yeah. So I hopefully that kind of explains it, Eli. But in a nutshell, that's the thing. The 3 different materials are used for totally different things. And I don't know that there's necessarily like a good, better, best. Because they're tools, like you might want to utilize, one in a specific way. Like if you're in a tournament and you break off a balsa plug, doing something,
yeah,
you might throw the other one, and it's a crapshoot that it's going to run the same way and enough. But if you're like, I'm throwing, a DT10 and you're deep cranking and you break it off, and you're like, okay, I'll throw the other one. And you can be assured.
Think of it this way, guys. When it comes to balsa resin or plastic, they, like Bobby said, they all have their place, and they have one will do better in a certain place than the other.
Yep.
It's kind of that concept of like banging in a nail. You could bang in a nail with a screwdriver with a screwdriver or wrench, but the hammer is going to do the best job.
That's true.
So it kind of comes from that. It depends where you're at, what you're doing, and what your objective and your goal is.
No, that is a really good one. Now I want to throw out. So this is one. This next one came in via text. So I took a couple of notes. This is from our friend, the Canadian Koala. And this is in response to a call from last week's show. I believe it was South Jersey Josh that called this one in. He and the koala says, he goes, I am a big proponent of pinching barbs, especially for sport fishing and always in the backcountry. Barbs don't keep fish on hooks. They keep hooks on fish. And if you know how to properly fight a fish, you don't need barbs. If someone made barbless trebles, I'd fish them exclusively. And then he follows up and says, and the megabass reverse trebles can eat my ass sideways. He says, I also want to know what people are calling me behind my back, LOL. So I understand, because Nick is a very conservation forward angler.
Yeah.
Like he really is. And I respect that. I will say that I still don't understand the benefit a typical bass angler, especially a tournament angler, would get out of keeping the barbs off of their hooks. I can't process that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I do plan on doing a little bit more homework to figure out what that's all about. But I understand where Nick is coming from. Like if you are fishing for the sheer enjoyment of enjoying the resource and you want to do the least amount of potential damage, barbless hooks are going to help you. Absolutely right. They just will. But I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Are you going to pinch all your barbs?
No.
That's what I thought.
I could see it from the conservation standpoint.
Definitely. Yeah.
And if it makes you sleep a little bit better at night.
Yeah. Then by all means, like I'm not going to be
one of those
judged anyway.
things where I would love, we all love the Canadian koala. That dude's one of the best human beings alive.
100%.
This is kind of one of those things. I feel like we could sit down with him and have a 3-hour long conversation.
Yes.
And that's kind of like when I don't even want to say any more about this because it's come up a couple times until I can like have a look. Because like you said, it's like mind blowing to me. It's something I never really thought of.
Yep.
And I don't want to no, I'm not going to do it. But I'd like to know what the benefits are of it and what the and the reasoning behind it and the arguments behind it. Cause I just want to know. I'm interested to know. It's not because I want to be argumentative about it. Cause I don't.
No,
I want to legitimately learn
knowledge
and learn and understand.
Yep. No, that totally makes sense. I can 100% get behind that. Cause that's the thing. I think that ultimately, like in the end, really that's kind of what it all gets down to is like just learning and kind of figuring some things out. Like obviously, to an extent, we are all stewards of the environment. So you want to do the least amount of damage possible and everything else. And I totally get that. And I understand too, where, it's funny, like we're talking about like pinch barbs, and a lot of people immediately think like, oh yeah, trout anglers, they pinch barbs all the time, clip the barb and so they can release the trout.
I can understand that.
Trout have such sensitive mouths. And like, then I forget, I mentioned this to somebody. It was a trivia, and I was just like, yeah, I go, but I don't give a shit about it. He goes, why? I go, because I eat trout a lot. Like most times I fish for trout, more than half the time, I'm going to harvest a couple. I love trout. But you know what has a really, really fucking sensitive mouth? Like even more delicate than trout? Crappie.
Interesting.
Way more delicate.
I didn't. Well, I know it's very
very
it's
thin.
like fucking paper thin.
Yes, and it's so easy to tear. Crappie. And my thought was like the catch and release crappie world isn't like when people are generally fishing for crappie, they're fishing for the bigs to release to the grease most of the time. So I'm like, okay, that's probably why you don't hear a whole lot about that. That's my off the cuff sort of, take on it. But that's really good. And I love this. I love that Nick was just like, I'm going to text this in and throw it out there. And he's like, so folks, if you're listening, especially if you're listening on Spotify, I want you to comment what you're going to call Nick so we can give him some feedback. So if you're listening to, Ian says right here, he says, smoked grilled trout is the nectar of the gods. I have this smoked trout recipe I want to try where I'm going to smoke the trout out in the field. Like I have a small smoker. It'd be amazing. But it's just the time to go and do it and be able to cook and everything else. It's going to be a camp situation in order to pull it off because I got to brine it. And I want to give it like a good 6 hours to do it the right way. It's like a sriracha maple garlic brine. Yeah, real good.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of cooking and eating trout, good old Cupcake Coley. I love Coley. She is the most wonderful human, just in general. And her and I, we don't necessarily see eye to eye, her and I, but we're both grown ass adults that can have conversations about shit. And like, I am a big supporter of conscientious harvesting in the name of conservation. You know what I mean? And like, she is an angler that is like, I catch and release everything. She posted a video today and it was her cleaning a trout. And she was all but dry heaving while doing it. She was like, I can't, it's so gross. You've got to see this. I'm going to share it on the Jigs and Big story. And it is amazing. And I was like, she's like, it wasn't even good. I didn't like it. And I'm like, do you like salmon? And she's like, no, I fucking hate salmon. I was like, they're very similar as far as like the flesh and the overall flavor. Like they are similar. There's nuance, obviously. But like if I usually like if somebody isn't going to like trout, they're like, oh, I like fish sticks. But I'm like, do you like salmon? They're like, no. There's a lot of oils, very healthy oils in salmon and in trout, but it's not for everybody.
Lots of antioxidants.
Yeah. Your boy is very...
Bobby roast beef is all about health.
As I'm sipping wolf head.
No
Canadian.
way, dude. Like Meg said it on the way. She goes, Bobby looks awesome. She's like, I'm so happy for him.
I was dying in that video. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I don't think this hoodie looks as good as it does, as I think it does on me. But that means a lot. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that man, it's crazy. I think that everybody's got their Ian, we might have to trade smoked trout dips. We might have to trade some recipes. Yes, I am interested in that. Go ahead, fire that sucker in the DMs. Now, for this next question, this one is a little bit more in my wheelhouse, and you're going to understand, Joe, exactly why. This is from one of the hosts of Small Ponds, Big Dreams podcast.
Hey, what's up, Bobby and Joe? It's Matt from Small Ponds, Big Dreams. Just had a little question for the live well for you. I'm hoping to get into BFX next year, and I need to get my first BFS combo. I've looked around a lot and just kind of get lost. So I was hoping to get a recommendation from you. to kind of help you out what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that'll throw like small ball heads, small Ned rigs, small tubes, maybe small chatterbaits and small spinnerbaits as well, and then maybe some of those BFS glide baits. But any recommendations would be super appreciated. Otherwise, I hope you guys really enjoy your Friday. Have a good one.
So what Matt is looking for there is he's looking for like an all-around bait finesse combo, is to kind of do all of it. And because he wants to do something that is like single hook presentations and moving presentations, like, so he's looking at like throwing like Neds and all kinds of stuff like that. I would recommend the more difficult thing to do, honestly, is to select the rod. Because a lot of people, there's the first stumbling block a lot of people look at is in the bait finesse world, a lot of the rods are 2-piece. A lot of them just are. And it's just the nature of the beast. You know, that's just the way that they are. Don't let that frighten you. I have 2-piece rods. I have a handful of 1-piece rods. I don't notice a difference between the two whatsoever. When I first started, I started with a rod that I felt was a little bit too fast for some stuff, but it's great for like bottom contact baits, like small finesse jigs, you know, when I'm throwing like the micro jigs, or I'm throwing like little, like the smaller Neds and things like that. It's great for that. For the moving baits, it definitely does the job, because the thing is that the power of those rods is so light that it'll like, you very rarely are ripping those baits away from fish. I would say you want to stick to something that's kind of a fast action for the most part. If you're not planning on throwing, like, I'm talking ridiculously small stuff, 1/32 ounce and below, like that, like if you're not interested in throwing trout magnets on this combo, then I would say you should look into something like, the rod I started with was the Shimano Majestic XT. I don't think they make that anymore. A comparable rod, there is they call it a bass finesse rod from Arc that is really good. That's a 1-piece rod. I'm throwing there. I want to say it's a 6.4 light fast, and it's pretty solid. It's really solid. You don't need to go ultra light, because a lot of what it sounds like he's doing is more what they would call like power bait finesse, like that. Right. Where he's going to be, you know, doing a handful of moving baits, primarily like, you know, single hook presentation, stuff like that, bladed jigs. So I'm assuming he's going to be throwing like the pig jig stuff, the HH custom stuff, small ball head jigs with paddle tails, things like that. So I would say go with something that's like a little bit faster. Concentrate on like that Ned presentation, you know, concentrate on the downsize, you know, Texas rigs and things like that. Lean a little bit toward that and just give yourself a little bit of go-to. Now, as far as the reel goes, dude, you can do so much. A lot of the bait finesse shallow spool reels run in a fast gear ratio. Like I think, you know, most of them that I've come across, I think all of mine are an 8-speed reel, and that's not intentional. It's just because that's what they make. The Dark Wolf Ultra is great. I don't know how the price is. That's kind of like, it disappeared from the market. It was real hard to find, and then they came out with a bunch of them. It's a great way to jump in at like more of a budget level. I recommend the Arc Gravity BFS a lot, simply because of the versatility. So if you buy that reel and you want to use it for throwing, you know, bottom contact baits like Neds and finesse jigs, or you might want to throw, you know, and you might want to throw like some really light stuff, or maybe you migrate that to another rod. You could, with a couple of adjustments to the brake system, it can be very, very flexible. So that is a little bit more. I think that's like at like the 149 level, something along those lines. But I would say that's why he told me he was going to, he actually asked me this question via DM, and I was like, call this in on the live well so we can go ahead and answer. And I was like, I want to know what it is that you're looking to throw. Because if he was looking specifically to throw like moving baits, like, oh yeah, I want to cover water, I would say go with something a little bit more moderate, you know, just a little bit, or go with something that's fast. It's maybe like ultralight. So like when it loads up, it just loads up, you know? And I would say, just have fun with it. Also, there's a lot of people immediately think like, oh, I'm going to throw braid to mono or braid to a leader on their bait finesse. Don't be afraid to just like spool that sucker up with like 4 or even like 6 pound fluoro. Don't be afraid of doing that because that's what bait finesse was designed for, was that light fluorocarbon line, being able to cast that stuff and have it work. So I would say those are your best bet. Look at that, but definitely look at, as far as a rod, look for like something that's in like maybe the 6 to 6.6 window for length, something that's light and fast, and you'll probably be good to go to start there. And you might find that you might want to add a second combo down the road, one that's a little bit more moderate, or if you want to dabble in like the real ultralight stuff, then you might want to go with more of an ultralight combo, really, really, really like whippy type stick. I think that's what you're dealing with, Joe, on your combo, is like it's more super ultralight or very, very slow action, like something like that.
Yep, I think so.
I'd love to fuck around with that combo.
Yeah. It's all you, dude.
That rod, just to see what that's all about. Because I've got some jiglets specifically that are so tiny. So freaking tiny. And I think especially in the spring, that would just be ridiculous to throw around when like that new life is just starting to come together.
Yep. And if he's looking for a reel, just saying, when AVF tackle drops, I do have the JDM SLX BFS reels for $180. So
the SLX, huh? Nice. Okay, all right. I got it now. I will say, like, I know there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, the Corrado BFS, I love it. If it, depending on the type of fishing you're doing with that reel, I will say my 2 cents. There is a mod, like pulling a couple of the magnets, that make it much more versatile of a setup. But if you're like, I'm throwing around 1/8 ounce Neds, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? It all gets down to what is the kind of fishing that you want to do. And everybody's going to have their, I guess their own like winning recipe for what it is that they're looking for. But I would say go ahead, start, because if you go with that more jig oriented bait finesse rod, you're going to get a lot of use out of it, and it'll be, I think you'll have a good time with it. Let's see. What do we got next? Oh, this is the other Eli question. This is a good one too. Let's go ahead and hear from Eli as we round out the live well.
Hey, it's Eli with another question for the live well. I'm currently sitting here trying to grease up and oil up some reels. My question is, what is your winter maintenance to rods and reels look like? I may have asked this question before. So what does your maintenance look like? Also, how do you avoid catastrophes if you're ever taking apart a reel? Because I almost had one, took apart a reel, parts went flying, finally got it both back together. I'm still missing a spring, but managed to get back together. Hopefully that spring's not too important. I don't think it is. What's your winter rod and reel maintenance look like?
I think he has asked this. I
remember
talking about this before. Can I go first on this one?
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead, dive in.
Eli, stop taking your reels apart more than you need to, because that's when you get into that trouble. When it comes to casting reels, all you got to do, the most you have to do is like just take out the spool, grease the fucking, what do you call them, the teeth in the front there, and that's it. Unless you have like the
what is it, the worm gear or some shit?
Yeah. When it comes to maintenance, obviously you want, you can oil, grease, whatever you use, like those moving parts. Unless you're having an issue, you're having grinding, you have sand in there, whatever. There's no need to completely take those things apart. They're not meant to be taken completely apart. That's why you're missing springs and losing springs. They're for repair. Taking apart a reel in depth like that deep is for repair, not maintenance. Same thing with spinning reels. If
No
you have
shit.
grinding, you have sand in there, whatever, then yeah, you think about that. But you very like a field, as we call it in the military, a field strip. You're just doing a field strip of the reel, just to grease it and oil it. Again, they're not meant to be taken apart completely. That's when so a lot of those, what people don't know, it's kind of like engine components.
Yes.
Okay. What people don't know, if you break down certain aspects of the reels, you're supposed to replace the parts because they're not supposed to be taken apart.
Gotcha.
The same way as like with with certain parts of an engine with gaskets and stuff like that. Kind of the same idea. So yeah, it's you have to understand, make sure you understand. I'm not saying you can't do it, but make sure you know about that reel. You understand if there's gaskets, seals, whatever that you have to replace, and make sure you know how to do it correctly so you're not losing springs. Because I guarantee you, Eli, missing that spring, you're gonna realize it.
Yeah,
because it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not an extra part.
I will say that, like, I've heard tips before where people are like, lay out a towel, and every time you take a component down, like you're reading a book, all the way down, make a line, boom, 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 boom. So you know that you just go backwards and you put everything together. That doesn't work for me. I need a new guy. Because my old guy was Old Glory Outdoors. So for like the last 2 years, I haven't done shit except like I'll take the spools out. Because what I do, my routine is I take all my rods, I take all the covers off, I pull all the old line off except the braid. I usually get more than one season out of the braid, but I take all my fluoro off, I take all my mono off, everything else. I chuck all that, and before I re-spool everything, I add a little bit of oil on the spools themselves where all the pieces go back together. And I only really necessarily worry about it if I'm hearing grinding, and I don't. I also rinse my reels quite a bit because I use the same gear in the salt water that I do on the rare occasion I'm out there in the fresh water, and I rinse them. I just make it a regular thing. So that's pretty much it. What I do for my rods is I just kind of do like a light sort of like cleaning overall, I also will take a Q-tip and I'll go around every single one of the guides to see if there's any like hot points that are picking up the cotton to let me know if there's a problem there. And that's for the most part all that I do. I think that if you take good care of your stuff during the year, like now you have a lot of people that are using rod sleeves all the time. So their rods, they're not even seeing the sunlight the way that they normally would, in a lot of situations. Especially with mine, because they get tucked up in the truck and they're up overhead. The sun never shines on them except when they're on the boat, and that's it. So I think that's a big one. John Hagen says in here, he goes, I've got a small, like a catch pan that I use when I have to take a reel apart. That way, if stuff drops, it doesn't get away. That's a really, really good idea. I've heard people debate too, like, do you want to clean your reels over like a rug or a carpet, or do you want to do them on hardwood or like concrete? Because then it won't get stuck in the fibers of that carpet or something. And some people say like, yeah, but if they fall on a carpet, they're going to bounce. You're going to be able to grab them. They won't go as far, shit like that. John says, I have to clean out sand out of my bait casters every single season. And bank fishing like that, I 100% could believe it. You know what I mean? Silicone mats on Amazon. Some have magnetic strips with little pockets for parts. Todd says that's a great idea as well. My thing is this. I don't even clean my spinning reels. Because I don't use spinning reels that are high enough caliber. I use them till they're dead and then I replace them.
Gotcha.
It's just that's how it is. But like with my bait casters, with my better bait casters, like my Shimano's and my Daiwas and stuff, like that's pretty much all I'll do on my own is like kind of any of the moving parts that I can see when I would take the spool out. Because I also like when I put line on my reels, I do some weird shit. Jimmy, Raw Fishing, fucking tipped me onto some new shit, man. where like
Okay.
I run the line through the chassis, right, with the door off, and the spool will be over here, and I tie everything on, and I just pull the line back out, and I do this like maneuver where I put like 3 loops around, no tape, nothing, and it is money. It is just money. It is so good. But like while I have all that apart, I'll put a little drop of oil, around the door and the bearings just to make sure like all the stuff is good. I didn't realize that, Joe, that you weren't supposed to get in all that stuff.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's just like an engine, dude. They're not meant for that. But luckily, when it comes to spooling reels, I acquired a spooling machine from Old Glory Outdoors.
Spooling machine.
That's all my. Yeah, I have a spooling machine. Yeah,
like the one that goes on the rod itself, and you just.
No, it's a legit like electric spooling machine. Yeah, I had it at Old Glory.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking puts it done.
That's fucking insane. That's awesome.
And it despools too.
That is worth its weight in gold because that's the worst part. Oh my God.
Just put that bitch in reverse.
No shit. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Oh, that's fucking cool. But yeah, we're getting close. It's only going to be a few weeks. Once I get the cover off the boat and I'm like, we're not going to get this sucker filled with snow or anything, I will be in the boat, Bluetooth speaker, Diet Cokes on the go, and I'm going to go through all of my gear. I'm going to be out there with my ballistics boxes, getting shit lined up, straighten some stuff out. I am ready to go, John says same. He says, I burn spinning reels up. He says the handle's always the first to give. Second part is the bail. Nice job. 2 weeks to your first cat tourney, John. Jeez. Go get him, dude. Go freaking get him. So yeah, I think that about covers it. We had both Eli questions. We got to the koalas conservation corner, and we talked about what was it was Matt's question about BFS. So I think we're doing pretty good, man. I think this is a pretty solid show.
Think so.
As long as Ryan Ryan Parker is awesome. I am so excited to talk to him, and it's weird that you guys are going to hear the interview and then I'm talking about it now. But we got to talk on, I think it was Saturday night at the Columbus show, when everyone is just hanging out, when we decided not to go to Oldfields. And we had a conversation. I was like, yeah, I got to get this guy on the show. He can talk, and he is very, very full of knowledge. Good stuff. It's going to be a good one. Nice. You got anything you want to throw out there, Joe, before we move on?
No, man, that's it. Great show. Looking forward to the next one.
I do have one thing I have to fucking throw out there because a couple of people had mentioned it already. Zach had mentioned it, and I think Jay Manning also did. It's like, oh, we missed trivia. No, you guys did not miss trivia. The Fishy Trivia was scheduled for, and I say was, and I'll explain why. Fishy Trivia was scheduled for the 27th. And it was going to be Friday the 27th. I was going to do it before we record the show and all that stuff. And I had an event that was dog-eared on that night. And it was a college event in Rhode Island. And I pitched them, I had this meeting with them and everything. And I was like, what do you think? Blah, blah, blah. Work all this stuff out. And I said, just as soon as you put your deposit in, we'll be good to go. I never got a deposit from them. So I was like, okay, we're free and open on that day. No bullshit. I think on Tuesday I dropped the promo. On Wednesday, their deposit came through. And the only person that bought a ticket was Zek, because I think he just wants his title to continue as being first place overall, most dominant. So I was like, I'm just going to refund everybody. We are going to squeeze in. It's probably going to be on an odd time this month. And then I'm also going to go and book the one for March. So this way, everybody's good. We're going to cover all the bases. I am going to try to do these on Friday nights before we record the podcast. So it'll be like a 6 o'clock thing, and then we'll just record the podcast afterwards. And if you play speed quizzing, if you play Fishy Trivia with me, I will drop the link for, if you're in that group in the Zoom, I'll drop the link for this. So if you're not a jighead and you want to get a little bit of the
jighead life,
you can come over and check out the show afterwards as we record. So that'll be kind of cool. We'll figure it out. John says, I think I need some of this trivia action. I think you do too, John. I think you do. It's a lot of fun. $50 gift cards for the winners for Dark Horse Tackle. So we got a $50 gift card for first place. And as this starts to grow and get legs, you're going to see other sponsors come in as well. We're going to give away some really cool shit. So it'll be a lot of fun. And the winners are also going to get, and I think we're going to do like a raffle as well, like a little giveaway. So there will be a bonus prize that you can go ahead and jump in on, and that might be something special. But anyway, we'll wrap this sucker up for now, guys. It's been an amazing show. We're only a short number of weeks away until we're all going to be out on the water again. I cannot wait. My registration on my boat is good until the end of June. I don't know what I was freaking out about, but here we are. We'll see you guys. Have yourselves a good one.
It's the trailer you got to worry about, not the boat.
Oh, the trailer's been set for a while.
Perfect.
It's been set. Yeah, absolutely. You guys have yourselves a great one. Take good care and brush your fucking hair. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Jigs and Frickin' Bigs. Like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.